Well, let's keep the fireworks going. The Falmouth Commodores are looking for their second straight win, taking on a tough opponent for the first of a home-and-home series. It's the Cotuit Kettleers coming to Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field tonight. Welcome to another edition of Opening the Door with our web reporter, Tommy Mumau. I'm Trey Redfield. So glad you're with us tonight for the Doors and Kets. Tommy, it's good to have you back, my friend. It's been a little bit since you've come on Opening the Door.
I know. Thanks for having me back on. I'm excited. The team's starting to roll, I think, Trey.
The Doors are starting to roll in the eyes of Tommy Mumau, and I would say the eyes of myself, too. How could you not, right? And after last night's 6-4 win, you can certainly say that, right, Tommy?
For sure. I think last night was a huge win for many reasons, right? You know, you get a couple additions to the lineup, and then Jeff Trundy getting his 500th career win. It was a great night for the Commodores.
Jeff Trundy with his 500th win. You've been here twice. You were here last year as well. How have you seen Trundy evolve with the players as seasons have gone along?
I think he's just an incredible coach. I mean, he's a guy that coaches for the right reasons, in my opinion. You know, some coaches, they're all about winning, but he wants these guys to get better. And I think any player that's ever played for him would tell you that. He's just outstanding.
And Trundy got two more faces. They come from Arkansas. Jace Borfin and Peyton Stovall coming into the Commodore lineup. Both of them making a great impact last night, Tommy.
For sure. Jace Borfin, an all-star last year. He hit 279, 5 homers, and he picks up right where he left off, an RBI single last night. And Peyton Stovall with a home run in his first game of the Commodores, so that was a great moment as well.
He was on the other end of a back-to-back home run with Jacob Walsh. Not too bad for Walsh and everyone else to start getting going again. It's about time, right? But for the Kettleers, there are faces that are missing. You go down the line, it's with pitchers and hitters. Cam Collier, Chandler Simpson, Jackson Kelly, and William Privet. This is a good thing for the Commodores, knowing these four guys, Tommy, were some of the best Cotuit had.
Absolutely. I mean, you think Chandler Simpson in particular had that game-tying hit when they tied them back at Lowell Park a couple weeks ago. And, well, actually it was an error, but he was the one that made contact on it. And we all know Cam Collier. I mean, he's a top 10 projected pick. So I think that, yeah, it is big for the Commodores for sure.
And Kelly and Privet were awesome on the mound. Yes, Privet did give up a blown save against the Doors last time these two faced off, but both of their ERAs were under 2, and that's all you can really ask for. But the Commodores will take the departures that the Kettleers have. But let's talk about who's on the mound tonight for the Commodores, Tommy. It's Josh Hartle, the southpaw out of Wake Forest. Really important for him to get going after getting hit pretty hard by YD in the doubleheader.
He did. You know, he had a tough outing in that one, but I think overall we've seen good things from him. I think his stuff's been pretty good, so hopefully he can bounce back tonight for sure.
So tomorrow it's Grayson Hitt. Tonight it's Hartle. We saw Hartle play really well against Chatham. Shutout ball. He doesn't throw that many strikeouts. How important is it for the Commodores infield to be on their A game, knowing Hartle's going to be jamming these guys left and right tonight?
Yeah, I think it's really important, especially because we've seen them make quite a few errors throughout the course of the season. But I think they've gotten better overall, so important to keep that trend going for sure.
Well, my question to you, Tommy, to wrap things up, do the Commodores keep it going? Do they get a win tonight? Will they get their second straight?
I think they do. I think they're looking a lot better. I mean, especially last night, I think that was big for them, so hopefully they can build off of it and get another win.
Key stat here. Every time Tommy Mumau's on Opening the Door, the Commodores are 2-0. We get to find out if they'll be 3-0 tonight, taking on Cotuit. That's Tommy Mumau. I'm Trey Redfield. It's the Doors and the Kets coming up soon.
Mickey Garcia, and behind the plate is Joe Caraco. And the Bat Boys, both Bat Boys, we got brothers J.J. Lynch and Braden Lynch. We have a very special first pitch tonight. We have 3 members we would like to honor here today. We will begin with Wayne Soares, is the host of a popular new veterans cooking show, The Mess Hall, as well as the Vietnam veterans documentary, Silent Dignity. His column, Veteran Spotlight, is nationally syndicated. Sergeant Barry Funfar is a highly decorated United States Marine who served his country in the Vietnam War, flying 127 missions as a door gunner. And Steve Burden is a former football star at Western Michigan State and sportscaster at CBS Boston. Let's see it, Wayne. Thank you to all three for coming out to the ballpark tonight.
Hey there, Commodore fans. Thanks for joining us and cheering on your Falmouth Commodores. Want to take a break from the action? Come make a visit to the merchandise booth. Check us out behind home plate. We have a bunch of new designs for you to purchase, from hats to shirts, jerseys, crew necks,
the Wild Harbor Yacht Club and love sailing all summer. Both girls have been a part of a drama fun production in Sandwich and love spending their time with their grandparents and friends while on Cape Cod during the summers. Please rise and remove your caps for the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? I'm literally pulling out the string.
And now, for the words we love to hear, we welcome back Wayne Soares, Sergeant Barry Funfar, and Steve Burden.
Play ball! Woo!
For the third time this year, the Falmouth Commodores and Cotuit Kettleers square off in the latest edition of this Western Division rivalry. The Kets ride a 7-game unbeaten streak into this matchup, but the Doors are still riding high after last night's victory that gave manager Jeff Trundy his 500th career Cape League win. Good evening, everybody. Carter Bainbridge along with Trey Redfield here at Gov Fuller Field. And Trey, we can't talk about this big matchup tonight without first going back to last night, where the Doors finally snapped that 6-game winless streak, thanks in part to two guys who just came over from Arkansas.
Yeah, finally the streak is over. There was a tie in there as well, but mostly a losing streak that's finally put behind us. And it was Jace Borfin and Peyton Stovall that came into the Commodore lineup and made immediate impacts. Borfin went 1 for 3 last night, and also Peyton Stovall went 1 for 4 with a solo home run. Those were actually back-to-back jacks, the other with Jacob Walsh. But woo pig suey, Carter. We got some more Commodores here at Gov Fuller Field.
And those Razorbacks didn't do it all themselves. The Doors finally snapped a 20 1/3 long scoreless inning streak with a run in the first inning off the bat of Jacob Walsh, who drove in Colby Halter and ended up having 2 runs driven in the game, another via solo home run. But the pitching yesterday as well came to play, including starter Jerron Watts-Brown.
Oh, my goodness. The pitching was amazing. Jerron Watts-Brown had 5 innings pitched, giving up 5 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts, had shutout ball, Watts-Brown did. And here's the thing with Jerron. You know, he gave up a hit up until the bottom of the 4th inning, but tonight it's Josh Hartle. It's so important for the Commodores to get going, especially defensively, and also offensively to help out Josh with the run support.
Well, this Cotuit lineup has been the league's best so far this summer. First in runs scored, first in hits and home runs. They can hit for power, and they run like the wind. So this perhaps the toughest task for any starting pitcher in the Cape League so far this summer. And the man conscripted out of the Falmouth staff to try to contend with the Kets today is left-hander Josh Hartle, squaring off against leadoff man Victor Scott. First pitch sails a little low, and that's how this one starts. 1-0 the count on Scott, the center fielder hitting leadoff today for Cotuit. Kyle Karros playing third on deck. 1-0 delivery is fouled to the right side, and it's 1-1. Tyler Johnson playing first and hitting third. Brooks Baldwin playing right and hitting cleanup. Zach Cole in left hitting fifth. Tommy Troy, the second baseman, hitting in the number 6 spot. Carter Trice, the DH, hitting 7th. Ryan Ritter, the shortstop, hitting 8th. And Caleb Lomavita, The catcher hitting ninth as Scott fouls that offering off the plate. 1-2 the count on the Cotuit leadoff man.
Yeah, we've seen this guy, Victor Scott, steal a lot of bases really fast in the outfield. Every time he chases a ball when defensively, he always loses his hat. This is someone who gives it 110%, just like Alex Mooney does in the leadoff spot for Falmouth.
1-2 the count. Got him on the outside corner. Good spot for Hartle. And strikeout number 1 in the books here in the top of the first inning. Scott takes his seat, and Kyle Karros coming up to the plate.
Not often will Josh Hartle do that. Normally when you see Hartle pitch, it's a guy who jams a lot of hitters. You know, he's someone that doesn't strike out guys too often. He'll use it when he has it, but normally you see Hartle jam hitters.
First pitch to Karros is fouled back on a bounce. It's 0-1 on the Cotuit third baseman. Things just underway here at Gov Fuller Field. Brilliant day for baseball. Pretty warm weather. 0-1 pitch. Doesn't quite catch the outside corner, and it's 1-1. So the Doors and Kets getting it on today, and they'll do it tomorrow out at Lowell Park as well. High fly ball to right field, but Brutcher there to make a routine catch for out number 2.
Yeah, you said the home and home. So this is something that usually happens. The biggest rival that you have on the Cape normally you'll line up with on the third and fourth for a home and home. That's the only home and home there is during the season. I mean, sometimes you'll play teams back to back, but that's only in a double header. So the Commodores and Kettleers, like you said, getting it on not only tonight, but tomorrow as well at Lowell Park.
And these two certainly rivals, but the Doors trying to score their first win against the Kettleers this season. They've already played twice. Doors lost one, tied the other. First pitch to Tyler Johnson, misses low and away for ball 1. But this number 3 hitter here in the form of Johnson, one of the more dangerous hitters on the Cape right now. Swing and a miss through that offering, and it's 1-1. So Johnson, not a guy who's been here the whole season. He's a pretty recent addition after coming over from Coastal Carolina, but 4 home runs in his first 11 games on the Cape. Grounds this one to second base. Stovall has it, moving a bit to his left, and completes the play for out number 3. Quietly, the Kettleers go in the first, 1-2-3. As we head to the bottom of this first, Mooney, Halter, and Borfin coming up for the Commodores when we return.
Fans, sharpen your baseball skills with some of America's finest players from the best college programs in the country. Clinic attendees will have opportunities to work on hitting, base running, infield and outfield play, as well as pitching and catching. Attendees will also participate in Commodores Chat, where coaches and players discuss topics like sportsmanship, academics, teamwork, and other issues important to being an all-around player. Clinics are offered Tuesday, June 21st through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. 3 separate clinics will be offered for ages 5 to 14.
Well, we're back here at Gov Fuller Field here in the bottom of the first inning between the Commodores and the Kettleers, 2 longtime rivals in the Western Division of the Cape Cod League. Renewing acquaintances here in an early July set of 2 games. The Doors trying to upend the Kettleers for the first time this season, but not a lot of teams have done that successfully to Cotuit in the early going of this year. The Kets come into this one with a record of 14-2-3, good for best in the entire league so far this summer. But the Doors come up, first time up to bat, shortstop Alex Mooney leading things off, Colby Halter hitting second, playing third, Jace Borfin, the DH, hitting third, Jacob Walsh, the first baseman, hitting cleanup, Peyton Stovall at second, hitting fifth, Drew Brutcher, the right fielder, hits sixth, Andrew Pinckney in center, hitting seventh, Josiah Cromlick, the catcher, hits eighth, and Anthony McKenzie in left field is the number 9 hitter today. And that's the lineup to face right-hander Ty Johnson, who is off to an outstanding summer so far with the Cats. This is 4th appearance and 2nd start. In 5 1/3 innings so far, he has not given up a run. and has allowed only 1 hit, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts on what has been the Cape League's best pitching staff by a long shot. Johnson takes a breath, and the first pitch to Mooney tails in for a strike. 0-1 the count on the Doors shortstop. Kyle Karros over there at third base, playing a couple steps in towards the grass. Nothing major. 0-1 delivery is yanked outside, and it's 1-1. One delivery. Again low and away to the right-handed hitting Mooney, and it's 2-1. Johnson, a tall right-hander, 6'6", originally from Indianapolis. Does his pitching at Ball State, where he was a starter most of this spring with the Cardinals. 16 games, 14 of them starts. 2-1 pitch. Low again to Mooney, and all of a sudden it's 3-1 on the Commodore leadoff man.
Not having to go far for school. Went from Indianapolis to Muncie, Indiana, staying in the Hoosier State. Johnson, and you said it, really good season. First team All-MAC with the Cardinals this year.
3-1 delivery. Mooney cuts through that offering to bring the count full. Well, if you're just tuning in, Cotuit went down 1-2-3 in its top of the first. Now the Doors trying to mount something in their home half. Alex Mooney, the leadoff man, with a 3-2 count. Payoff pitch. Low and away, he walked him. Mooney takes first, a leadoff base runner for the Doors. And Colby Halter, the batter.
Mooney did his job right there. The leadoff man's job is to always get on base. What the second guy has to do is just continue it. You know, find a way to move him around. You know, that's something. It's all building blocks. You know, Mooney gets aboard, Halter moves him, and then whoever's up third or fourth, Jace Borfin, then Jacob Walsh tonight, it's their job to bring him in.
Halter at the plate, first left-handed batter against Johnson today. Righty deals, it's inside and gets away from Loma Vida behind the plate as it tails back into the infield. Mooney takes second easily on the wild pitch.
Yeah, there was a shot right there of the brick, you know, being able to not be your friend and is a possibility. You know, bounces off the bricks. If Loma Vida scooped that up, he could have gunned down Mooney at second base like nothing had happened.
And remember, Loma Vida doesn't play in this park, so he's not familiar with the way it bounces. So Mooney scurried his way to second, now in scoring position for Halter with nobody down. Mooney takes a few steps off second, now goes back. And Johnson forces him to return. So Johnson, who walked 25 in 75 2/3 innings out at Ball State, has walked the leadoff hitter and thrown a wild pitch. He's created his own jam here in the bottom of the first. 1-0. Off the plate outside, and it's 2-0.
You got to be smart if you're Alex Mooney over there. You know, you never know when you're going to get picked off from behind like that at second base. It's always tricky. But also, Mooney's doing a lot of hopping. If he's doing a lot of hopping, then that's where a pitcher can gun you, especially if they time it perfectly.
2-0 pitch. Popped into left center field. Cole coming in from left, dashing in to make the catch for out number 1. Mooney gets back to second base. And Halter, the first out for the Commodores in this game. So the Cotuit defense outfield left to right. Zach Cole, Victor Scott, and Brooks Baldwin. Infield around the horn. Kyle Karros, Ryan Ritter, Tommy Troy, and Tyler Johnson. Caleb Loma Vida behind the plate. And Ty Johnson, the pitcher on the mound. Jace Borfin at the plate. Takes outside for ball 1. And this his home debut in the 2022 season. Borfin, a returner from last year's team where he was an all-star in 2021 with the Doors. Debut game yesterday, 1 for 3 with 2 walks. 1-0 pitch, check swing, and a called strike. It's 1-1, 91 miles an hour on the gun from Johnson.
Yeah, something Johnson is doing really well, is starting to find quickly, is his spots. I mean, that's a reason why we saw a full count, trying to figure out where he wants to paint tonight. He's done a lot of it this season.
1-1. Again, poured in for a strike, and it's 1-2. So Mooney, who walked the leadoff this inning, stands at second base. He got there via wild pitch, and now Falmouth trying to move him over. Borfin at the plate. Johnson on the mound, looking back Mooney. Another hop by Mooney. Johnson doesn't fall for the bluff, and now Borfin has to call time.
Yeah, Ritter and Mooney are playing games over there. A couple of shortstops that know what's up defensively. Mooney going to do the same thing in the top of the second whenever Cotuit gets a man on over there. But it's a game of chess when you have pickoffs like these.
1-2. Low. Lomavita stabs it, and it's 2-2. Second baseman Troy is putting pretty deep in the hole over there between first and second base. He is way off his usual position, so there's some space up the middle if Borfin can send it that way. 2-2. Fouled right side, and it's 2-2. We saw a whole lot of that last night, Trey, from Borfin.
A lot of foul balls, just trying to fight off counts. He fit right in. He was someone that fit right in with the Commodores, and saw a little bit of it last year, and now seeing a lot of it this year with a bunch of different guys. It goes down from top to bottom.
2-ball, 2-strike count. Johnson's delivery. Low again. Borfin didn't offer. Lomavita blocks it, but it's 3-2. Johnson took something off that time, 83 miles an hour, but Borfin's been disciplined at least through one game and one at bat. One away, Mooney at second. Borfin at the plate trying to drive him in as Mooney bluffed the go. It's a ground ball to shortstop, through for a base hit into left field. Mooney hurtling around third, and he's going to score without a throw. It's 1-0 Commodores here in the bottom of the first inning on the RBI single by Jace Borfin. Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field, Jace. We've certainly missed you.
Yeah, and that was a perfect design right there, because Mooney was in Ryan Ritter's sight, perfectly in his spot, so where Ritter couldn't even see where the ball was until the last second where it got right by him. That was a textbook play, picture-perfect spot hit by Jace Borfin. It's just great job all around, both by the hitter and runner. Mooney doing his job coming in with the aggressive base running.
First pitch to Walsh is fouled away very high to the left side, and the count 0-1 on the Commodore first baseman. So that now the first run, unearned, earned, or otherwise, allowed by Johnson in 5 2/3 innings to start his summer. In this, his fourth appearance. Borfin at first base, Walsh at the plate as a lefty bat. He skies this one very high, but it's going to stay on the infield. Ritter over from shortstop, yielding to Troy at second base to make the catch. Out number 2 here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, he just missed it. You can see the body language when he smashed his bat to the ground. You know, he was a little upset with that one, and rightfully so. You know, when you just miss a pitch that you like that's coming over to plate and you miss it by just not even a second, probably less than a quarter of a second, you get upset with yourself. But those are things that you learn. You go along with it. You have a short memory next to that bat.
Walsh has been warming up lately, had the big day yesterday, 2 for 2 with a home run and 2 driven in. Peyton Stovall takes strike 1, and the count 0-1 with 2 down here in the bottom of the first. The Doors have already cracked the scoreboard against the Cotuit Kettleers, who boast the league's best pitching staff. They entered the day with the fewest runs allowed in the league, only 39. YD in second place had given up 48. 0-1 pitch is up high, 1-1. So that category wasn't particularly close, but now Jace Borfin just drove in the 40th run against this Ket staff this summer. RBI single, scored Mooney from second. 1-1 to Stovall. Fouled left side, out of play, and it's 1-2. And Trey, you made that comment. It was that jitterbug movement at second base by Mooney that made that possible. He was forcing Ritter at shortstop to play closer to the bag, and the ground ball hit that way. Would have probably been a regular routine play for a shortstop in normal positioning. 1-2 to Stovall. Popped up again, this one to shallow center field. Ritter going out. Scott coming in, loses his hat tray just as you said. But he makes the catch for out number 3 with a grin on his face. He jogs in back toward the field, and that ends the bottom of the first inning. The Doors get a run on a base hit by Jace Borfin. This scores Alex Mooney. As we head to the top of the second inning, Baldwin, Cole, and Troy, 4, 5, and 6 for Cotuit, coming up when we come back.
Want a house of Falmouth Commodore? Be sure to sign up to become a host family today. Hosting a Cape League player can be very rewarding. Players connect and bond with the families, often forming lifelong relationships. Please remember that every Commodores player is bound and governed by NCAA rules and regulations. In order to maintain their collegiate athletic ability, host families receive a weekly allowance from the Falmouth Commodores to help cover player expenses. Host families are not required to provide transportation to players. The Falmouth Commodores are very grateful to the wonderful families that host our players each and every year. If you are interested in hosting a Falmouth Commodores player for the summer, contact our housing coordinator, Lisa Smuda, at lisatz143@comcast.net. For more information, visit our website at falmouthcommodores.com. Thank you for supporting our players, and roll doors.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field as we head to the top of the second inning. The Falmouth Commodores just grabbed an early lead over the Cotuit Kettleers, 1-0 on an RBI single by Jace Borfin in his second game of the summer. He drove in Alex Mooney from second base, and now left-hander Josh Hartle works with a lead for the first time today. First pitch to Brooks Baldwin is grounded to third. Halter with a good pickup and a strong throw to get him for out number one. First pitch swinging, and Baldwin retired.
Got to give a lot of credit to Baldwin, though. It's unfortunate he went down on just one pitch because there's a lot to talk about with him. He had 347 coming into today. Came in as a temp player, too. You know, some temp players don't make it this far in the season. And Baldwin has proven that he's one of the best on the Cape this season.
If you hit 347, you basically play your way into staying.
Literally.
First pitch to Zach Cole is flied to center field. Pinckney out there for Falmouth, and he's got it for out number one. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of having a guy who puts a ball in play, who allows hitters to put a ball in play, and he's confident with it. Josh Hartle, 2 pitches, 2 outs. He finished his first inning in 10 pitches. He's 1 out away from getting out of this in potentially single digits.
Hartle, a guy who pitches to contact. Swing and a miss. Could have been 3 pitches and 3 outs, but Tommy Troy couldn't make contact. It's 0-1. Falmouth defense, outfield left to right. Anthony McKenzie, Andrew Pinckney in center just made that last put out, and Drew Brutcher at right. Infield around the horn, Colby Halter, Alex Mooney, Peyton Stovall, and Jacob Walsh. Josiah Cromwick doing the catching with Hartle on the mound. 0-1 delivery. High and away. 1-1. So Troy at the plate, a recent addition to this roster. Checked his swing on the 1-1. They appeal to first. Ryan DeMar says he didn't go. 2-1 the count.
It's a little bit closer than it should be.
2-1 to Troy. Line softly into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Brutcher over to pick it up as Troy motors for second. The throw is up high for Mooney, who had to come down with it and could not apply the tag in time. It's a hustle double for Tommy Troy with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning.
I think Brutcher could have had a better read on that ball. You know, he didn't think it would go as far back as it did, I believe. You know, he's playing deep out there in the outfield, but I don't think he just had the best angle on it because he could have gotten to that much quicker, I think.
Well, there's definite sun in play, too, for center field and right.
That's true.
Good chance he might have been looking up into the sun with that ball off the bat. 2 outs, runner at second. Hartle dealing to Carter Trice. Swing and a miss, and that's strike 1 on the Cotuit DH. 257 hitter entering the day, and the number 7 hitter in the lineup with Troy at second, who now has 4 hits this summer and 12 at-bats, and all of them have gone for extra bases. 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. 0-1 pitch is fouled softly left side. Count quickly 0-2 on Trice.
And talking about keeping the pitch count low. This is Hartle's 9th pitch. Already 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. There's a guy on second, yeah, but you know what? If he controls it here, no harm, no foul.
Big hole on the right side for Trice as the 0-2 pitch comes in and just misses by a hair off the outside corner. And the count 1-2 on the right-handed hitting Trice. So Trice digs his way back in. As Hartle looks back, the 1-2 is low, blocked by Cromwick, and it's 2-2. Josh Hartle on the mound, making his 3rd start of the summer for Falmouth. Entering the day in his first 9 innings, he'd given up 3 earned runs for a 3 flat ERA, 9 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks. Maybe that last stat the most telling about what type of pitcher Hartle is. He's a control guy, pitches to contact. His first start of the year against Chatham, he pitched 5 innings, and of those 15 outs he got that day against the Anglers, 11 were on the ground. So we've taken a look at what Hartle looks like when he's on, and that's a guy who gets plenty of ground balls. 2-2 pitch, a little bit low on the inside corner, and it's 3-2 on Trice, who has worked his way back from an 0-2 count. Early going here at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. 1-0 your score. The Doors got a run in the bottom of the first on a Jace Borfin RBI single, but the Kets threatening. Breaking ball and a good one. Got Trice to swing over the top, and that ends the top of the 2nd inning. 2nd strikeout in the books for Hartle, and it strands a Kettleer at second base. 1-0 still your score. The Doors lead as we head on to the bottom of the 2nd inning with Brutcher, Pinckney, and Cromwick coming up when we return.
My favorites. Proud to be an American. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
And what's your favorite breakfast food?
Oh, my favorite on the West Coast. I don't know if it's a thing back east, but Spam.
Wheels or doors?
I think wheels, honestly, because you use wheels like more than I feel like you would use doors, because if you're moving things around, more than likely it's on a wheel.
Well, we're back at Gov Fuller Field as we head to the bottom of the 2nd inning between the Falmouth Commodores and Cotuit Kettleers in the early going of the first game of a 2-game July 4th weekend set between these two. The Doors have the early advantage courtesy of an RBI single back in the first off the bat of designated hitter Jace Borfin. Right-hander Ty Johnson on the mound for Cotuit, dealing with left-handed hitter Drew Brutcher. First pitch swinging, fouled right side, and it's 0-1. Carter Bainbridge along with Trey Redfield with you here in the booth. We'll be joined later by special guest Brendan Capozzi. Will spend some time on air with us. 0-1 the count on Brutcher. First at bat of the day. Skies this one very high to left center field. Scott coming over to his right to get it and loses his hat for the 2nd time in as many chances. But again makes the put out, and there's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 2nd.
Death taxes. Legit, every time he fields a fly ball against the Falmouth Commodores, he has lost his hat.
You think he does that intentionally? He gets a larger hat?
1,000%. 1,000%. I used to think like, oh, it's just the wind, no problem. But the trees aren't moving one bit. There's no way he's that fast. I mean, he's a fast guy, but like you got to be Usain Bolt fast to be losing your hat each and every time.
First pitch to Andrew Pinckney is outside for a ball 1. You think he's trying to give off an illusion to the scouts here? Show off some extra speed he may not have?
Hey, whatever you can to sign the dotted line and play Major League Baseball, you do it.
1-0 to Pinckney. Ground ball to second base. Troy gathers it up, fires on to first for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Fake it till you make it, right?
Well, surely we're just joking around. But you know who that reminds me of is actually Ken Griffey Jr.
He used to do that a lot, too.
As the story went, wore the hat backwards because as a kid he wore senior's Reds hat. It was way too big for him.
Really?
So he had to turn it around so it wouldn't fall off his head.
So that's why he did that?
Or fall down in his eyes.
I thought he just did that because he was good.
According to legend. Well, he did it because he was cool as well.
Yeah, I mean, he got his own shoes out of it.
Josiah Cromwick, the catcher at the plate for Falmouth, takes ball 1 with 2 down, bases empty. Here in the bottom of the 2nd inning, Cromwick, the number 8 hitter, 1 for 7 at the plate this summer, with Jacob Cozart starting his day on the bench. Fouls this one away, right side, and over a pretty big crowd of people camped out on that lawn. A lot of chairs, a lot of towels out there today. Plenty of people showing up for this game.
4th of July weekend. Where else would you rather be?
1-1 from Johnson. Breaking ball stayed high, and it's 2-1.
It's best holiday of the year.
Two-one delivery. Swinging a line drive to center field. Base hit. It lands in front of Scott this time, and Cromwick has himself the 2nd Commodore hit of the day. Clean 2-out single to right center field, and Anthony McKenzie comes up here with a runner at first base and 2 down.
He didn't lose his hat that time, but didn't really have to go too far for it. That's just a clean line drive. That's what you should be looking for each and every single time. That's how you get players to go from station to station offensively. It's the name of the game.
And the Doors got their first run back in the 1st off of Ty Johnson, the first run he's given up this entire summer in now his 4th appearance. Looking for another here. First pitch to McKenzie is inside for ball 1 on the switch hitting left fielder, hitting 9th for the Doors today. Batting left-handed against the right-hander Johnson. One-zero. Again low and in, and it's 2-0 on McKenzie. So Anthony McKenzie not batting from his power side. 2-0 pitch. Sounded like he broke his bat on that foul ball to the right side.
He did just that.
Goes back to retrieve some new lumber. McKenzie has had his struggles this year as a left-handed batter against righty pitching. He's hitting just 103 in 29 at-bats, only 3 hits. But it's a different story when you turn him around. Against left-handed pitching, he's a 286 hitter. But always good to have that versatility at the plate. Doors have a couple switch hitters on their team right now. Luke Boyer's another, who's a bench bat starting this evening, but a guy we could surely see in the later innings for defense.
Got his first hit of the year last night.
2-1 the count on McKenzie with Cromwick at first base. And the pitch stays away. 3-1 the count. So Johnson wiping off that forehead. He's had to sweat here in the first 2 innings. The Doors have made him work with a run in the first and a 2-out base runner here. 3-1 the count on McKenzie. He comes up and in and hits him right in the back to put 2 aboard with 2 down. So McKenzie takes the bruise and the base, and that brings the top of the Falmouth order back around to the plate with leadoff hitter Alex Mooney now stepping in.
Got aboard via base on balls last time up, the leadoff walk.
First time this summer that McKenzie's been hit. He now stands at first base. Mooney ready. First pitch to him. Well, low and outside. Good grab by Loma Vida behind the plate. And the count 1-0. So Cromwick at second. McKenzie at first here in the bottom of the 2nd inning here at Gov Fuller Field. Right-hander Ty Johnson trying to work through this jam. He fires the 1-0. Change of speeds, and Mooney swung over the top of it. 1-1. Mooney walked his first time up, scored the only run of the day so far in the bottom of the 1st on the Borfin RBI single. 1-1 delivery. Low and in this time. 2-1 the count, and Johnson definitely having some problems with that command here in the early going.
Yeah, from what I thought at least, in the first inning, it was just trying to get into the groove, but he's back at square one again.
2-1. Mooney had to go up and get that pitch, chopped it foul to the left side, as it's now tossed back toward the Falmouth dugout. Colby Halter in the on-deck circle giving it a look. 2-2 the count on Mooney. Took an aggressive hack there, 2-1. I may have to shorten up here with 2 strikes and 2 down, 2 on, bottom of the second. 1-0, the door's up already, and knocking on the door. Johnson wheels around, bluff pickoff move with Cromwick at second base. Falmouth hasn't sent any of its runners in motion so far in this game. You know the Cats are going to do it eventually here tonight. 2-2. Off the end of the bat to second base as Troy ranges to his left and makes the catch for out number 3. Well, Mooney put it in play, but couldn't find the outfield, and that ends the threat in the bottom of the second. The Doors get a hit and leave a pair. We head on to the top of the third inning between the Doors and the Cats. 8, 9, and 1 due up for Cotuit when we come back.
It's cartwheel.
I'm not a gymnast. I think I'd pull something if I did a cartwheel.
Would you rather be able to fly or be invisible?
I'm going to go with fly, honestly. I think flying would be pretty cool. Be able to be up in the air around everybody, fly with some birds. Be pretty cool stuff, Carson.
Okay, Anders, now do your best and favorite dance move.
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
Well, that rendition of the national anthem by our own Trey Redfield, pretty appropriate for this 4th of July weekend. The Doors and Cats in the first game of a 2-game weekend set here at Gov Fuller Field. Falmouth has the early advantage, 1-0 after a first inning run, RBI single by Jace Borfin. The Kettleers have just 1 hit to their credit so far, no runs off of left-hander Josh Hartle, who's on for inning number 3, continuing a strong start to this summer. Entered the day with 9 innings pitched and a 3 ERA. So far has looked pretty effective against a very dangerous Kettleer lineup. The best in the league. The best at scoring runs, most stolen bases, and most home runs. Best team average, so they can do just about everything on the offensive end. Hartle trying to stymie them for an evening. Ryan Ritter at the plate as Hartle delivers strike 1 here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, the last time we saw Ryan Ritter come up to the plate against the Commodores, he got hit by a pitch in the 9th, one that went downhill for the Doors. They were up 3-1 on Cotuit. Ritter got hit, one of 2 guys to get hit by a pitch. The Cats came back and tied up the game. That's how it finished. That's one of 3 ties Cotuit has this season. So Falmouth can hang. Just got to show it.
Last time these 2 teams played, that was what went down over at Lowell Park. 3-1 game going into the 9th before the Kettleers put up 2 to finish in a tie. 0-2 pitch is way high and outside. It's 1-2. But the Kettleers, 14-2-3 so far this summer. So Falmouth nearly had them for that 3rd loss. 1-2 pitch is a swing and a miss for strike 3. Ritter retired with relative ease here in the 3rd inning. 3rd strikeout of the day for Hartle. And Caleb Lomavita is the batter with the bases empty and 1 away.
It's his 2nd time Hartle has started an inning with a strikeout. Did so in the 1st. The last time it happened. Now it's just so important, though. Finding that strikeout early. Finding your groove in another top half.
Fastball clipped the outer part of the plate to Lomavita, and it's 0-1. Hartle looks to have as good command tonight, at least in the early going. 0-1. Caught the lower outside corner to the chagrin of Lomavita, and it's quickly 0-2 on the Cotuit catcher, the 9th place hitter tonight for the Cats. The 0-2. Grounded to the first base side, foul. Oh, Loma Vida nearly had a hit down the line. No way Walsh was going to get over there in time, but instead it's a foul ball. We saw a pretty similar play like that last night out at Doran Park. The Doors couldn't quite swing one down the line. 0-2 delivery to Loma Vida. Grounded foul again, similar spot on a high bounce, and it's 0-2 still. But Falmouth finally got itself off of its slide. 0-5-1 over its previous 6 games, but defeated the Bourne Braves last night 6-4 on the road for manager Jeff Trundy's 500th career win on the Cape. 0-2, swing and a foul tip into the glove of Cromwick. Out number 2 here in the top of the 3rd inning, and Josh Hartle is in control here in the early going.
How about the Demon Deacon? Getting it done. It's got to keep it going, though. You know, your second go-around in the order is even more important than the first because everyone has seen you already. So it's now up to Hartle to show, okay, what's my plan B here?
Lefty-lefty matchup with Victor Scott, who takes down and away. 1-0 the count. The Cotuit leadoff man now up for his 2nd time today. He struck out looking back in the 1st inning. Swing and a miss on that offering. 1-1 the count to Scott. Scott, a guy with a good on-base percentage. One of the reasons he's hitting leadoff. 1-1. Off the fists, fouled back, and it's 1-2. So Scott entering the day, only a .206 batting average, but a .438 on-base percentage. He's drawn 12 walks to only 6 strikeouts. So he's got good command of the strike zone, and he will take a free pass. 1-2 pitch. Fouled off again. 1-2, the count stays on Scott. Here at Gove Fuller Field, top of the 3rd. Bases empty with left-hander Josh Hartle in a good groove in the early going. Trying to protect a 1-0 Falmouth lead. The 1-2. Line to left center field, high and deep. McKenzie giving chase back to the wall. Instead, it's Pinckney to pick it up, ranging to his left from center. It's a single for Scott as this throw comes back in, cut off by Stovall. And Scott has a 2-out base hit to left center, a long single to be sure. And Kyle Karros is the hitter.
When you hear long single, normally that means it was a great job done by a fielder. That's the case this time around with Andrew Pinckney. Was he going to make that play? No. Did he have a great jump on it? Yes, but it was put in a really good spot by Scott. But if Pinckney doesn't have that speed, Scott's at second base standing up.
Throw over to first. Scott over there now, and a guy Hartle's going to have to worry about, and you can be sure that over there in that dugout, manager Mike Roberts wants to get this running game revved up. 39 stolen bases for the Cats this summer as Karros grounds this pitch to shortstop. Mooney had a tricky hop and goes the short way to Stovall for out number 3 here in the top of the 3rd inning. So no running by Scott, no problem for the Doors as they close out their 3rd straight shutout inning in the early going. Karros retired on the grounder as we head into the bottom of the 3rd. Halter, Borfin, and Walsh, 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Doors when we return.
Falmouth Commodore, be sure to sign up to become a host family today. Hosting a Cape League player can be very rewarding. Players connect and bond with the families, often forming lifelong relationships. Please remember that every Commodores player is bound and governed by NCAA rules and regulations. In order to maintain their collegiate athletic ability, host families receive a weekly allowance from the Falmouth Commodores to help cover player expenses. Host families are not required to provide transportation to players. The Falmouth Commodores are very grateful to the wonderful families that host our players each and every year. If you are interested in hosting a Falmouth Commodores player for the summer, contact our housing coordinator, Lisa Smuda, at lisatz143@comcast.net. For more information, visit our website at falmouthcommodores.com. Thank you for supporting our players, and roll Doors.
Well, welcome back to Gov Fuller Field as we head on to the bottom of the third inning between the Doors and Cotuit Kettleers. Two longtime Western Division rivals. Colby Halter, the number 2 hitter, getting things started for Falmouth in this frame off of right-hander Ty Johnson. First pitch to Halter is roped to right field. Baldwin heading back toward the wall, and it's out of here! Touch 'em all, Colby Halter. That doubles the Falmouth lead here in the bottom of the third inning. A solo shot to right field. And it's 2-0 Commodores here in the early going.
If you blinked, you missed it. That was a line shot, too. You know, Baldwin didn't really have much of a chance on that one as he goes down the Falmouth tunnel. But great shot there from Halter. You know, got barreled the ball. You knew it right off. It just, depending on how high was it going to go, how far was it going to go.
Borfin at the plate. Fouls the first pitch back, and it's 0-1. And that one got out in a hurry, Trey, like you said. A line shot. Second homer of the summer for Halter.
Why is that always the case? Line drive home runs for the Commodores.
Baldwin headed back as if he had a beat on it, but then slowed up as he got towards the wall. Realized it was gone. Borfin pops it up. Left side, Ritter and Karros. It's Ritter from shortstop to make the catch for out number 1 here in the bottom of the third.
You seen that glove thing that he did right before he caught it? That was a little weird. I thought he caught it and I didn't even know where the ball was. That fooled me. I don't know if that's just instinct or he just did that.
Everybody has their habits,
everyone
right?
Everyone has a thing. They have a routine that they go with, and I guess that's one of them.
So Jacob Walsh at the plate, a guy who hit a home run yesterday at Bourne, stands in with the bases empty and 1 down. 2-0 your score here in the bottom of the third. Colby Halter just doubled that mark. First pitch low, 1-0 the count. So Halter, a guy we've usually talked about for his contact skills, how much he walks, what he does on the base paths. Showing off some pop in that bat. 1-0. Change of speeds had Walsh out in front, and it's 1-1. The second run of the day scored off of right-hander Ty Johnson in the middle of inning number 3, who entered the day with a scoreless 5 1/3 innings under his belt. Fouled back on a line, 1-2. So the Doors have cracked the code, something that just 2 nights ago seemed impossible with how their offense was going. Mired in a 20 consecutive inning scoreless streak that they broke yesterday in the first inning at Doran Park. 1-2 pitch is fly to center field. Scott tracing back to the wall, makes the catch going away. Loud second out off the bat of Walsh here in the bottom of the third inning.
Got a great jump on it, too. Knew immediately where it was, knew the trajectory of where he had to go. Scott, is one of the best center fielders in the CCBL, and a big reason why is because of his glove. And the speed that he brings to it, too. He puts that together. He's a darn good fielder.
Peyton Stovall now at the plate with 2 down, bases empty. First pitch, a breaking ball and a good one. In for a strike, and it's 0-1. The Doors have had their struggles on offense this year in plenty of categories, but they're actually up towards the top in home runs. Third in the Cape League, entering today with 12, behind only these Kets and Orleans. 0-1 pitch comes low and inside. It's 1-1. So number 13 for Falmouth on the summer. Give it to Colby Halter to lead things off here in this bottom of the third against righty Ty Johnson. Stovall lefty bat at the plate. The 1-1. Yanked down and in, 2-1. So we've talked about the command of Johnson today, Trey, but I think now, given what he's given up in this game, a couple runs, which he hadn't done previously, that we're not seeing him at his best here tonight.
Couldn't have said it better.
2-1 to Stovall is way high and away. It's 3-1. Defense playing Stovall straight up, 3-1. Lined in left center field, base hit. Scott over to his right from center field to pick it up. It's another base hit for Stovall. his first of the day in just his second game this summer, and he stands at first with 2 down here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
He got on twice last night, walking a home run. Keeps the good times rolling here at the Gov. That was a clean piece of hitting right there over the head of Ritter. There's so much that the best fielding shortstop in the country can do. He doesn't have PF Flyers to get up there to make that grab, but the Commodores will take it.
Brutcher at the plate now with Stovall at first. Fastball catches the outside corner, and it's 0-1. Ryan Ritter, the shortstop, a guy who just made the SEC all-defensive team at shortstop this spring. He certainly got the glove work and playing in the most competitive conference in college baseball, but that liner too high for him to have a play. Stovall at first, the throw goes over, and he's back. So Ty Johnson throwing over to Tyler Johnson at first base.
We were talking about that. We were saying to each other, what are the odds?
Surely we won't get our wires crossed with that combo later today. Ground ball to second base. Troy has it and makes a comfortable throw to first base to retire Brutcher. And that ends the bottom of the 3rd in quiet fashion, but not before the Doors get a run on a line drive home run to right by third baseman Colby Halter. Falmouth gets 2 hits and they strand a man as we head to the top of the 4th. Johnson, Baldwin, and Cole, the heart of the Cotuit order, coming up when we come back.
What are you most looking forward to this season?
I'm just looking forward to, I mean, it's obvious, but just the games, you know, seeing some great baseball, some great talent, and working with all these interns and really just learning, you know.
I'm just excited to get to know everyone, do some fun social media stuff, make a lot of TikToks, and watch some baseball.
I'm looking forward to spending time with all of the other great interns, looking forward to watching good baseball, spending time around the field, and being in Falmouth again.
It was just such a great experience last year. I mean, there's nothing better. I mean, it's the best players in the country, and the opportunity to cover them is awesome.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field as we enter the top of the 4th inning between the Commodores and the Kettleers. The Doors leading 2-0 right now. RBI single in the first by Jace Borfin. Solo home run by Colby Halter just happened in the bottom of the 3rd inning to double the lead. And Josh Hartle on the mound for inning number 4. Trying to keep the Ketts at bay, starting with first baseman Tyler Johnson, who checks his swing. And it's a called strike at the plate by home plate umpire Joe Carrico for strike 1. The Carter Bainbridge now joined by Brendan Capozzi, filling in for a few innings for Trey. He's going to be down on the field a little bit today. 0-1 pitch fouled back, 0-2. And Brendan, you've been here before.
Yeah, I was here a couple of games ago. It was a back-and-forth game. I'm glad to be back in the booth with you, Carter. And right now we see a good pitcher's duel as the Commodores are winning right now as we are in this 4th inning. So let's see if they can keep it up.
Tyler Johnson ruined that 0-2 offering from Hartle, who has looked in command today. He's allowed only 2 hits, no runs, and has not walked a batter. He struck out 4. Lefty-lefty matchup here. 0-2 came up and in and clipped Johnson. So he'll take first on the hit by pitch to start things in the top of the 4th. Brooks Baldwin now, the right fielder, hitting with a man at first and nobody down. So for the first time today, the leadoff man has reached against Hartle in his 4th inning of work as the umpires confer. About halfway up the first baseline and the field of play. And they confirm that it did get Johnson. So he stands at first, a victim of a hit by pitch. And Baldwin at the plate.
Baldwin's hitting .347 so far on the season, and he leads the Cotuit Kettleers with 13 RBIs as well. So definitely someone that Hartle needs to pitch around because one swing of the bat, and this could be a tie game.
Johnson over there at first, not a base stealer as the first pitch comes into Baldwin and gets the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. So Johnson, a recent addition, not a guy who runs, practically one of the only ones on this Cotuit team who doesn't. But Baldwin at the plate, a guy who has, and with a .347 average, wraps this pitch foul left side. And Hartle ahead in the count 0-2 very quickly on a dangerous hitter. Baldwin hitting cleanup today, but usually in the first 4 of the lineup, he's played around as a switch hitter, batting right-handed against the lefty Hartle. 0-2 pitch down in the dirt. Cromwell lets it get away, but Johnson makes no move towards second base. 1-2 the count. Baldwin as a right-handed batter this summer, a .362 average. 320 from the other side. 1-2. Fouled away left side down the line and over towards the fans sitting underneath the trees beyond the third base line. First souvenir they've gotten tonight.
Making Hartle work here. So let's see if Hartle can maybe throw something outside the strike zone and get him swinging for this first out in the top of the 4th.
Hartle has K'd 4 so far in this game. The 1-2 pitch. Oh, just missed the outside corner, and it's 2-2. Caught Baldwin looking, but couldn't get it far enough into the zone, and it's even at 2-2. Johnson still over at first, hasn't made any move towards second, has a small lead. 2-2. Line to right field, base hit. Brutcher plays it on a couple hops as Johnson makes his way to second base and stays there. First 2 reach now for the Kets here in the top of the 4th inning. A single for Baldwin, and there's runners at first and second with nobody out. Zach Cole now the batter.
Great piece of hitting by Baldwin there. Has one of the top averages on this Cotuit team, and now it's first and second, no one out. So now really Hartle needs to focus in and get out Zachary Cole.
Cole, a lefty bat against the lefty Hartle. First delivery to him as Johnson goes for third. The throw by Cromwell got him out by a mile. Out number 1 here in the top of the 4th inning as Johnson caught on the base paths for the second time in as many stealing tries this summer. So aggressiveness on the base paths by Cotuit, their trademark this summer so far, but it didn't work out in their favor there. Out number 1, and now there's a runner at first with 1 down. Cole still at the plate, the count 0-1. Right to Walsh, the throw to second for 1. Mooney can't get it out of his glove in time for 2. And the fielder's choice cuts down Baldwin on his way to second. 3-6 it goes as Cole reaches. But 2 away here in the top of the 4th inning. The Cats perhaps running themselves out of their best chance so far. If Tommy Troy can't come through with Cole at first base and 2 away. Troy doubled his first time up on a line drive to right center. Hustled into second base on a close play. Hartle deals. Softly grounded, tough play at third base for Halter, who tries to barehand it and can't pick it up. Infield hit all the way for Troy, who was legging it out down the line hard. And again, the Cats have 2 on with 2 out.
Halter tried to play the great defensive play right there, just tried to barehand it, but it just got out of his way. And now we're still in the same situation for Hartle, first and second. Now there are 2 outs, so definitely a little bit more wiggle room for him as he tries to get this third out of the inning.
Hartle now approaching the bottom third in the Cotuit order. Carter Trice, the DH, right-handed hitter, 0 for 1 today, hitting 7th in the Cotuit lineup with runners at first and second. First pitch blocked in the dirt by Cromwell, and the count 1-0. So this a messy inning for Cotuit. Leadoff man Tyler Johnson was hit by a pitch, advanced to second on the single by Brooks Baldwin, but Johnson cut down trying to steal third. Zach Cole grounded into a 3-6 fielder's choice that caught Baldwin out going to second, and Tommy Troy just reached on an infield single, the second hit of the inning. The 2 on, 2 out for Cotuit. 1-0 pitch bounces in front of Cromwell as both runners advance, and there's no throw. So a wild pitch as it hit the dirt, and then the chest protector of Cromwell behind the plate. Both runners move up, And a tricky spot now for Hartle with the tying run standing at second base. 2-0 Falmouth leads, but the Kets with their most serious threat of the evening so far. 2-0. Breaking ball floats in for a strike. Good snap on that offering, and it's 2-1. Ryan Ritter on deck, a guy who's been here practically the whole season with Cotuit. He of the .288 average, 6 doubles. So Hartle wants to get Trice right here. Low and in, and it's 3-1.
Hartle has to settle in right now and get something in the strike zone. He's been trying to get the hitter swinging, but just nothing's working right now.
Yeah, this Cotuit team awfully disciplined. They've drawn the second most walks in the Cape League so far this summer. 3-1 the count. And the pitch, swing and a miss for strike 2, and the count goes full on Carter Trice. Well, Josh Hartle entering the evening in his first 9 innings had yet to walk a batter. He's got a 3-2 count here on Trice with runners at second and third. Infield normal depth. Halter guarding the line over at third base. Fouled, just got a piece, did Trice, and he stays alive. So 3-2, the count stays with runners at second and third. Big spot here for Hartle with a 2-run lead, trying to prevent the Cats from tying this game with one swing. 3-2. Grounded sharply to short. Mooney falls down, gets to his feet. The throw still in time. Trice retired to end the threat. The Cats get 2 hits, and they leave a pair in scoring position. We head on to the bottom of the 4th inning in a 2-0 game. The Doors lead. Pinckney, Cromlick, and McKenzie, 7, 8, and 9 in the Falmouth order. Coming up when we come back.
Doors fans, sharpen your baseball skills with some of America's finest players from the best college programs in the country. Clinic attendees will have opportunities to work on hitting, base running, infield and outfield play, as well as pitching and catching. Attendees will also participate in Commodores Chat, where coaches and players discuss topics like sportsmanship, academics, teamwork, and other issues important to being an all-around player. Clinics are offered Tuesday, June 21st through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. 3 separate clinics will be offered for ages 5 to 14.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field as we head on to the bottom of the 4th inning between the Falmouth Commodores and Cotuit Kettleers in a 2-0 game. The Doors lead. And you see the standings right now across the Cape. The Doors in last and the Kets in first in the Western Division. So what is basically a chasm separating these two teams. But Falmouth did get back in the win column last night at Bourne, surprising Harbor Hawks in second. And as you saw in the Eastern Division, the YD Red Sox still playing hot ball. They're in first place out east. Ty Johnson, right-hander, still on the mound for inning number 4 with Andrew Pinckney at the plate. Now, Johnson has had his troubles today with his command. A couple long innings, giving up 2 runs so far today on 4 hits. First pitch to Pinckney, who shows bunt and then pulls it back, but it's strike 1. Karros from third base came thundering in towards the plate, but Pinckney didn't get it down, and the count 0-1. Karros now playing a shade in at third base. Pinckney still at the plate, a right-handed batter. Breaking ball drifts low and away, and it's 1-1. Johnson so far today walked Mooney back in the first and hit McKenzie in the second. He's drawn some deep counts on these Falmouth hitters. A lot of 3-ball counts, a lot of foul balls. 1-1 the count here to Pinckney. Chopped hard to third. Karros with a nice backhand snag. And a throw in time for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. And Josiah Cromwick, the hitter now with the bases empty and one down. So Pinckney, even with good speed, couldn't beat out that infield chopper. Cromwick so far this season now 2 for 8, including his single today back in the second inning. First offering, breaking ball, snaps in for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Johnson's been putting a lot of good at-bats lately against these Commodores. They got to him early in that first and third, but it seems like he's settling down a little bit more, finding the strike zone.
0-1, finds the strike zone again with a fastball this time. 0-2 the count on Cromwick. Now the Cats have been dominant this season. They got off to that roaring 8-0 start. Currently 14-2-3 as Cromwick goes fishing for the 0-2 pitch. And held on to by Loma Vida, so they don't even make the throw to first. It's the second out. First strikeout of the day for Johnson. And Anthony McKenzie, the hitter, with 2 down and the bases empty here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So good bite on that breaking ball. Had Cromwick chasing. And McKenzie at the plate. Third baseman Karros a little bit in. First pitch, strike 1 to the Falmouth left fielder. Switch hitter batting left-handed against the righty Johnson. Second baseman Troy playing a shade over to his left, perhaps expecting McKenzie to pull. 0-1. Fouled right back to the netting, and it's 0-2.
Seems like they're not playing the shift for McKenzie. They have fielders on both sides of second base. So very interesting defensive strategy right here by the Kettleers.
0-2 the count on McKenzie. Too far outside, and it's 1-2. And we've seen a couple shifts so far this summer on some select hitters. McKenzie not one of them typically, but they do shade him to pull the baseball over in the hole between first and second. 1-2. Check swing, a breaking ball tied him up, down and in. They appeal to third, and Mickey Garcia says McKenzie didn't go. So McKenzie stays alive. The count 2-2 now. A nasty pitch from Johnson. He's been finding a little bit more of the release point on that breaking ball lately. His home plate umpire Joe Carrico calls time. Bottom of the 4th here at Gov Fuller Field. The Doors off to a good start in this game against the division-leading Cotuit Kettleers. 2-2 pitch, swing and a foul tip into the glove of Loma Vida. And McKenzie down on strikes. And for the first time today, Ty Johnson has a 1-2-3 inning. The Doors go down in order. We head to the top of the 5th. Ritter, Loma Vida, and Scott, 8, 9, and 1 in the Cotuit order, due up when we come back.
Hottest take is that a straw has 2 holes, not 1. What is your favorite place in Falmouth?
My favorite place in Falmouth right now, I would say, is Shoreway Acres Inn. A bunch of us, the interns, are staying there, and we're having such a great time getting to know each other.
Can you give me your best British accent?
Scott Sterling.
Is cereal a soup?
No, it's cereal. It's its own thing, right? What soup have you had with milk in it?
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field. July means the MLB draft is right around the corner, and it's hitting the Kettleers pretty hard. Starting at the plate, there's Cam Collier, who is a top 10 prospect. He's expected to go to the draft. And then also there's Chandler Simpson, who is a CCBL Player of the Week in Week 2, hitting .456 before he left Cape Cod. You move it over to the mound, there's Jackson Kelly. The right-handed submarine pitcher out of Mercer was dominant on Cape Cod as well, leading the league in ERA and strikeouts. So, Carter, it makes you think maybe the Commodores can catch some ground in the month of July, knowing they don't have anyone going to the MLB draft this year.
Well, that's right, Trey, and a good call for sure. There's a lot of faces we saw in the last 2 Kettleers-Commodores matchups that aren't here today, namely Jackson Kelly, that submarining right-hander we saw in Game 2 of the season, who pitched 4 shutout innings in this ballpark in the early going against what was then a struggling Falmouth lineup. We see a new hurler on the mound now for the Doors. It's left-hander Philip Abner. taking over from Josh Hartle, who went 4 innings in this game, gave up 4 hits, no runs, walked 0, and struck out 4. So another solid outing from the left-hander out of Wake Forest. And now he gives way to a fellow southpaw, Abner, making his 3rd appearance of the summer. His second in relief, 1 start. Go ahead, Brendan.
Comes in with a 1.80 ERA, which is second for this team. So definitely a right move here by Coach Trundy as they're trying to keep this 2-0 lead.
Yeah, for sure. Abner, we saw him in a start, and that was against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks back on June 29th. He went 2 2/3, allowed an earned run, 3 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Also appeared in relief against Wareham a couple days before. So Abner, out of the University of Florida, now trying to keep this Kettleer lineup at bay. The Kets have been shut out through 4 on 4 hits. Abner dealing with right-handed hitting shortstop Ryan Ritter, who cuts through the first pitch for strike 1. 90 on the gun from Abner, who has a fastball topping out at 92. Occasionally puts some cut on it. It drifts into right-handed hitters away from lefties, and a sweeping curveball in the high 70s. Strike 2 quickly on Ritter, who didn't like that call on the inside corner, and it's 0-2.
This will be a good way to start off the inning for Abner, as there's a team leader now in hits, Ryan Ritter's second in team in Cotuit in hits, right behind Brooks Baldwin.
0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to Ryan Ritter. He saw 3 pitches and now trots back to the Cotuit dugout, a strikeout victim to start things here in the top of the 5th. Caleb Lomavita now the batter with the bases empty and 1 down. So the Commodores continuing to cut through this Kets lineup. Lomavita, the number 9 hitter. First offering to him is away, 1-0 the count. And you said it, Brendan. Ritter, a really good hitter. He's been around the whole summer with Cotuit. Entered the evening with a .288 average. Has hit for some power with 6 doubles and 3 home runs. So he's got a good hit tool. Big cut and a miss by Lomavita, 1-1 the count. And Victor Scott, the leadoff man and center fielder, on deck with 1 away here, top of the 5th. Another swing and a miss. Abner coming out with some live stuff here in the 5th inning. Fresh out of the bullpen. He struck out Ritter on 3 pitches and now is ahead of Lomavita, 1-2. Got him. Strikeout number 2 for Abner. He elevated the fastball and Lomavita couldn't catch up to it. Out number 2 here in the top of the 5th, and here comes Victor Scott to the plate with the bases empty.
Very good 2 first at-bats for Abner, and he just struck out his second straight batter. Lomavita came into today with a .320 average, one of the highest on this Cotuit team. So Abner's really finding the strike zone and getting the pitches where he needs them.
And this Cotuit lineup, you have to see it to believe it. First pitch to Scott is well inside for ball 1. 1-0 to the center fielder, 1 for 2 today at the plate. These Kets have a .320 hitter at their number 9 spot. You just go up and down this 1 through 9, and these Kettleers can really swing the bat. 1-0. Low and outside from the left-handed hitting Scott, and it's 2-0. These Kets have some of the league's best hitters, and they've matched it up with what has been a dominating pitching staff. They just suffocate the opposition. 2-0 pitch, catches the inside corner. There's that cut fastball from Abner with a little movement. Got a half swing from Scott, but it costs him a full strike. 2-1 the count.
This just makes these games against Cotuit more important for the Commodores, as this is the 3rd time they've played them this year, and they are playing them tomorrow on Independence Day. So this would be a big momentum shift for the Commodores.
Popped up by Scott, foul ground as Halter gets underneath it for out number 3. How about the start by Philip Abner? A 1-2-3, top of the 5th after coming in from the pen. He sits down the Kets in order as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Mooney, Halter, and Borafin. 1, 2, and 3 in the Falmouth order coming up in just a minute.
Hey there, Commodore fans. Thanks for joining us and cheering on your Falmouth Commodores. Want to take a break from the action? Come make a visit to the merchandise booth. Check us out behind home plate. We have a bunch of new designs for you to purchase, from hats to shirts, jerseys, crew necks, wine glasses, and even baby bibs. You think of it, we probably have it. From youth sizes to even adult double XLs. We have everything you need for family and friends. Be sure to come say hello and get a piece of Falmouth merch. Make a trip before we close up shop in the 9th inning. See you soon, and roll doors.
Well, we head on to the bottom of the 5th inning here at Gov Fuller Field between the Falmouth Commodores and Cotuit Kettleers. 2-0 your score right now, but you might be surprised by the team that's leading. It's the Doors against the first place Kets, up in their home park by a pair of runs. And Alex Mooney, the batter to start things here against right-hander Ty Johnson, who's on the rubber for his 5th inning of work today. First offering to Mooney is a fastball that just barely misses the edge, and it's 1-0. So the shadows now in play on the field here at the Gov. The hitters in shadows, but the pitchers in the sun. 1-0 pitch is popped a mile high to the right side. Baldwin coming in from right. Troy at second base gives way to his right fielder, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Quick one and done for the Kettleers as they're looking to now get out Halter, who had a home run his last at bat.
Yep, it was Halter who yanked that line drive round tripper over the right field wall in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He led off that inning and hit that shot off of Johnson, who's still out there. So Halter, a left-handed hitter, has been one of the better doors at the plate this summer, at least numbers-wise, taking his cracks here with 1 down. Takes a fastball at the top of the zone for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Coming into today, Halter has a .286 average, which is second on the team behind Jace Borfin. Obviously, he's only been here for a couple days, but it just shows that the commitment of Halter, and he's been playing really good baseball lately.
He's been the best hitting regular, to be sure. 0-1 pitch is up and away. 1-1 the count. Halter, a guy who does a lot on the base paths, 9 for 12 in steals this summer. High average, 10 walks to his credit so far. He's done a lot at the plate since coming over from the University of Florida. 1-1 delivery, catches the outside corner. Halter disappointed with that call. Took a little bit of a crouch as that one went by, and it's 1-2. So Halter has made a lot of contact this summer. May now have to shorten up the swing with 1 away, bottom of the 5th. Doors up by a pair. 1-2 delivery is a line shot into right field for a base hit. Out of the reach of Troy at second base, and Halter on with his 2nd hit of the day.
Halter just keeps on hitting. Comes in today behind Jace Borfin's 2nd in average. He just continues for that average to go sky high. He's been having a really good game tonight for the Commodores.
Halter, a guy who's hit 2nd and 3rd in this lineup just about every day. And now Jace Borfin at the plate, 1 for 2 today. Was on base 3 times yesterday against Bourne, and Halter at first, who can steal a bag. First pitch to Borfin, high and away, 1-0. So Johnson with only 1 1-2-3 inning today. It was the 4th. In his other 4 frames, he's allowed at least 1 base runner, and in more trouble here with Halter standing at first base. Crouched within his lead and has to go back with a throw over. And slides in safely.
Keeping a close eye on Halter, who leads the team with 9 steals.
Borfin 1 for 3 yesterday with a pair of walks, 1 for 2 today. This is 2nd game of the summer as another throw goes over, this time closer. Tyler Johnson at first base receiving the throw from Ty Johnson on the mound. Halter has yet to make a move towards second. The Doors do steal some bases, not as many as the Kettleers. Another throw. They're getting Halter's jersey messy in this inning. But these Kettleers, first in the league in stolen bases entering the day, 39 for 56. So they'd been caught 17 times coming into tonight. 1-0 pitch to Borfin is yanked inside, and it's 2-0. Coming into the day, Falmouth towards the middle of the pack in steals, 21 for 28 as a team. 2-0. On the outside corner for a strike, and it's 2-1. Halter over there at first base has been glued to the bag the whole time, with Borfin at the plate, a guy who can really swing the bat. Was at Oklahoma last year with the Sooners, was at Arkansas this spring with a good Razorbacks team. 2-1 delivery, he's down low and away, and it's 3-1 on Borfin, who has had a selective eye, at least through his first couple at bats this summer. He did yesterday, and has worked a couple 3-ball counts today. Let's see if Halter's going here on the 3-1. Throw over instead, and Halter back safely with plenty of time. Borfin last summer with the Doors. He knows this park well. Played in 34 games, hit .279 with 8 doubles, 3 triples, and 5 home runs. Walked 17 times. As this 3-1 pitch is popped up into shallow left field, Ritter for the shortstop, giving away to his left fielder Cole, who makes the catch as Ritter fell down in shallow left, but that's the second out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So a couple softly hit fly balls in this inning have been the 2 outs off the bats of Mooney and Borfin. Jacob Walsh, now the batter, who had perhaps his best day of the summer yesterday. The 3-for-5 evening against the Bourne Braves with a pair of singles and a home run. Had 2 driven in. Halter at first base with 2 down. Another throw over. Well, Johnson hasn't come close yet with that pickoff move, but Halter has yet to show that he's trying to steal in this inning. The Doors perhaps waiting for the right time to send their third baseman. He does go here. First pitch to Walsh. Lomavita's throw. Got him. So finally they send Halter, and he's cut down to end the bottom of the 5th inning. The Doors go quietly with 1 hit, no runs, and they leave no one. We go on to the top of the 6th. Karros, Johnson, and Baldwin coming up for the Kets when we come back.
My favorites. Proud to be an American. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
And what's your favorite breakfast food?
Oh, my favorite on the West Coast. I don't know if it's a thing back east, but Spam.
Wheels or doors?
I think wheels, honestly, because you use wheels like more than I feel like you would use doors, because if you're moving things around, more than likely it's on a wheel.
Welcome you back to Gov Fuller Field, where the Commodores are leading the Kettleers by a score of 2-0 as we head into the top of the 6th. With Carter Bainbridge, I'm Trey Redfield. So happy you're with us tonight. It's a beautiful evening here at Gov Fuller Field. A lot of people here as well. Question is, partner, largest crowd of the season? I'm thinking yes, by a mile.
I think so. July 4th weekend. Kids are out of school by a lot by now, so why not come out to the park and see the Doors take on their biggest rivals and a good Cotuit Kettleer team to boot.
These two will play tomorrow as well at Lowell Park at 5 o'clock. You can tune into our radio broadcast at youtube.com/Falmouth Commodores. Philip Abner on for his second inning of work, taking on Kyle Karros to start off the 6th. First pitch hit out to the right side. Brutcher coming in. Has a beat, makes the grab, one gone. Well, that was quick.
Certainly so. We've seen a lot of quick Kettleer at-bats today. They can't use their coveted running game if they can't get on base, and they've had a hard time doing that today. Only 4 hits, and they've yet to draw a walk this evening. It's been a while since the two teams have seen each other, and what I think the Kets are now seeing is that this Falmouth pitching staff is much improved since the last time these pair played at Lowell Park.
Tyler Johnson at the plate. Looks at ball 1. Johnson got hit by a pitch in the 4th.
The 1-0. Goes inside, and he swords that one. Count even at 1. That hit by pitch, I saw him in the dugout while I was doing a sideline hit earlier in the game. Pretty big bruise on his back. When you take a fastball to the back, that's probably going to happen as the 1-1 comes in, misses low. Now 2-1. Johnson comes out of Coastal Carolina, starting in 51 games this season with the Cotuit Kettleers, hitting .357 and 19 home runs. 2-1 comes in. It's now even at 2. Johnson was on the second team for all Sun Belt this season.
And you like Abner's matchup lefty-lefty because Johnson so far this summer has been an absolute killer at the plate. Hits in 7 of his first 11 with the Kets.
Hitting .267 this season in the CCBL as the count goes full.
But how about a .733 slugging percentage?
That's pretty
for
good.
This first baseman. 2 doubles and 4 dingers so far. Just 30 at-bats entering the evening.
Inside, ball 4. Johnson wins the battle. He's aboard for the second time tonight. 2-0 your score, so the tying run coming up to the plate. You know, we can talk about the run production being there somewhat early in the game, Carter, but when the Commodores get back into it offensively, they got to get it going. You never know when Cotuit's just going to erupt.
Yeah, up and down this lineup, you've got to attack because if you walk guys, you're just going to bring up another good hitter to the plate who's been swinging the bat well.
This is one of them right here, Brooks Baldwin, who looks at ball 1. He's hitting .347 this season. That's leading Cotuit. That's top 5 in the CCBL as well. Johnson on first. Swinging a bouncer to the left side. Mooney can't get it. It gets over his glove. McKenzie fields it in left field cleanly. And Cotuit moves from station to station. Brooks Baldwin has his first base hit on the evening. And there's 2 on and 1 gone here in the 6th.
Well, this immediately trouble. And the Cats have kind of gotten it going the last couple innings. They were sat down 1-2-3 by Abner in the 5th. Had a messy top of the 4th where they had 2 hits and ran themselves into a couple outs. But now 2 on with only 1 down. This is a good spot if you're Cotuit and a tricky spot to work out of if you're Abner.
Now it's Zach Cole at the plate. He's playing left field. He's 0 for 2, reaching base via the fielder's choice in the 4th. That misses high and tight, ball 1.
The Doors probably have to add on to this lead, too. They got 1 in the 1st and then 1 in the 3rd on that halter home run that was just 1 good swing. But this Kettleer team, the hardest in the league to score runs on and to get hits off of. They've allowed the lowest batting average against.
Cole swings at the 1-0. It's skied to the left side foul. Halter under it and makes the snag for the second out. We saw Halter do that previously. He had to get Mark Roberts out of the way and make a circus catch. Much easier this time around, though. And now brings up Tommy Troy, second baseman out of Stanford. Actually went cross-country to go to school. He's from Topsail Beach, North Carolina. Hitting .273 this season with Cotuit. He's 2 for 2 tonight with a single and a double. First pitch to him. Too high, ball 1.
We've seen a lot of balls hit in the air and not hit very hard by Cotuit today, and that's a problem for them because this is a fast offense that loves to steal bases, and you work well when you're hitting ground balls and making the defense beat you.
1-0 from Abner. Hit to the left side at shortstop. Mooney flips it to second, gets the easy out, and that is the 3rd. So Philip Abner gets out of the jam, and the Commodores look to balloon their lead. 2-0 your score. Bottom of the 6th coming up after this.
I'm not a gymnast. I think I'd pull something if I did a cartwheel.
Would you rather be able to fly or be invisible?
I'm going to go with fly, honestly. I think flying would be pretty cool. Be able to be up in the air around everybody, fly with some birds. Be pretty cool stuff, Carson.
Okay, Anders, now do your best and favorite dance move.
and the rocket's red glare, though bombs bursting in air. Commodores 2, Kettleers nothing as we look ahead into the upcoming schedule for the Commodores. Tomorrow on July 4th, these guys run it back at Lowell Park. And then after that's an off day on July 5th. July 6th, though, the Doors take on the Red Sox right back here at Gov Fuller Field. Going back and forth with home and road, Orleans on July 7th. And then a special night on July 8th taking on Hyannis. It's Military Appreciation Night at Gov Fuller Field, so be sure to come out to the ballpark. More likely than that, we'll have another beautiful night as the Commodores go back on the road on the 9th, taking on Brewster at 5 p.m. Last time we were there, Andrew Pinckney made a spontaneous catch out in center field. And then on July 10th, the Doors are back home, taking on their friends from the other side of Cape Cod, the Wareham Gatemen. So Falmouth in front of Cotuit by a score of 2-0 here in this bottom half of the 6th inning. Carter Bainbridge to my left, Trey Redfield here with you as well. Such a pretty night. I can't get over this. I don't know what it is. I keep going to it, but I got to keep going to it. There's not a cloud in the sky, partner.
It's a picturesque night, and you hear over and over about how pretty Cape Cod, Massachusetts is and what kind of settings you get here, but this is a postcard type of night here as we see a new pitcher on the mound now for Cotuit. It's right-hander Will Jacobson.
Comes out of Harvard, rising senior with the Crimson from San Francisco, California, is making his 5th appearance. He's thrown 7 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 1 earned run on 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 1 walk as well. The opposing batting average, pretty nasty, 185. So we'll find out what Jacob Walsh can do here to start off the bottom half. Walsh was at bat in the bottom half of the 5th inning, but because Colby Halter got caught stealing at second base, Walsh returns to the plate. Walsh out of Oregon is 0 for 2 tonight. First pitch to him. That misses low, ball 1. Walsh hit a line drive home run last night at Doran Park against the Bourne Braves, propelling the Commodores to their first win in a while, a 6-4 victory over the Bravos. 1-0. It's a nasty cutter that finds the outer half of the zone, count even.
A good velo for Jacobson, who has only allowed 1 earned run in his first 7 1/3 innings this summer across his first 4 appearances, a 1.22 ERA with the Kets.
1-1 comes in, and that finds the zone as well. Strike 2. Walsh didn't really like that one, stepping quickly out of the box.
Well, we've seen pitchers on both sides tonight get that strike call on the outside corner, especially the left-handed hitters, if they locate it. Home plate umpire Joe Carrico is being pretty fair.
Walsh goes after this one. It's a foul ball, just missing the left field line.
That's about as close as you can get it down the left field line. Walsh not a guy who goes the opposite way all that much. Giving him some good space there down the third base line.
Cotuit infield playing him straight up. YD went on a shift against Walsh in the doubleheader earlier this week. 1-2 comes in. It's nubbed off the bat and out of play. We'll do it again.
Walsh, a guy who's been swinging the bat better as of late, but each and every time that we've interacted with him, whether that be before or after games, he's always a really pleasant guy.
Always has a smile on his face, too. A joy to talk to each and every time we get a chance to. 1-2 pitch. Inside, and Walsh belts it to right field. Baldwin's going back, and he's going to watch it fly. Jacob Walsh does it again. Back-to-back games with a solo home run, and Falmouth extends its lead to 3.
Well, Walsh got a pitch in on the hands in that at-bat that he fouled back behind the plate. And Jacobson came inside once again to him, but Walsh was ready the second time and didn't miss it. Again, a home run to right field to his pull side. Just easy power off the bat of this big lefty. And he's finally showing that hit tool that made him such a great hitter out at Oregon this spring. So if Walsh is heating up, These doors are about to go a long way on his back.
As Jacob Walsh takes a trip down the Falmouth Tunnel, How do you get a ticket? You got to hit the ball over the fence. Walsh is now to 4 home runs on the season. He's now tied for second in the league.
And this Falmouth offense, for the problems it has had, they do slug the baseball. That's now their 14th home run of the season. They came in with 12. The other one, Halter, tonight, off of right-hander Ty Johnson. Now manager Mike Roberts having to go over to his right-hander, who, as we detailed, had only given up 1 run all season coming into tonight. Across 4 games and 7 1/3 innings, and now gives up a shot. 1 run on 1 swing by Walsh, and his first batter faced here in the 6th.
So let's see what Peyton Stovall can do. These guys went back-to-back, Walsh and Stovall, last night. Putting up a 2 spot in the top of the 3rd. What was a 6-4 win for the Commodores over the Braves last night. Comes back right at us. Thank goodness there's a screen there. That would have gone right through that open window. Question is, would you have caught it?
I wasn't my play. Would have yielded to our writer, Tommy Mumaw.
You think so, really?
Yeah.
Either way, I have faith in both of you making that grab. Glove or not. 0-1. Hit to the left side foul. Behind the bleachers on the third base dugout. It's now 0-2.
Stovall, a guy who you just like to watch him swing. He's an exciting player. Just absolutely wrecked the field out at Omaha, the College World Series with Arkansas. So he's coming in basically radiating heat off that bat.
He's 1 for 2 tonight with a single. As he looks at the 0-2 high and away. Ball 1. Well, thank goodness Walsh got a second chance to come up to the plate. He's probably thanking Colby Halter for getting caught stealing. 1-2 pitch. Inside, and it got him. In the ankles, that is. Not for strike 3. So a hit by pitch delivered to Stovall. He goes over to first, and Drew Brutcher comes up to the plate. This guy's also capable with the long ball.
Second time on base today for Stovall. You like what he brings now as a middle-of-the-order hitter. And Brutcher, a guy who's still trying to get it going with the bat. But they sometimes say that hitting can be contagious. So the last 2 days have been any indication. Maybe Brutcher can pop one here.
He's 0 for 2 tonight as he looks at ball 1 low. Flew out to center in the 2nd. Grounded out to 2nd in the 3rd. Came into tonight hitting 151. How about that transition? I always love that transition. 1-0 comes in. It's now strike 1. So count even at 1 now.
Good spot for Jacobson, who has to settle himself down here. This is about as shaky an outing as the Kets have seen from him so far this summer. Home run hit batter, first 2 guys he's seen.
1-1. Too low, ball 2. Brutcher put up great numbers with the South Florida Bulls this season, despite missing a couple of weeks due to a lower body injury. He was hitting .299 and 13 home runs, RBIs just below 50. Not a bad line to have, even if you miss some of the season. 2-1 pitch. Too low, ball 3. Hitters count on Drew. It's the first time tonight that he's actually looking at balls. Each and every time he came up to the plate beforehand, he went down on 0-1 counts. Stovall leads off first. And the 3-1. Brutcher hits it out to left center field. It's going to get down, and it bounces off the wall. Stovall racing around third. He's going to try and come home to score, and he's going to come in without a throw. An RBI double for Drew Brutcher, and Falmouth has itself a 4-0 lead here at the Gov.
Well, partner, we said right before Brutcher came up to bat, hitting can be contagious. We've seen Brutcher put some good swings on some baseballs this season, but that might have been one of the best. Opposite field double, scorched off the bat. Looked for a moment like it might have enough, but took a high hop off the wall and had well more than enough time to score Stovall from first base, who was really motoring around the bases, showing off that speed.
He got a great jump. He knew that ball was going to hit the ground. It's now Andrew Pinckney at the plate. He shows bunt, and he puts it down on the right side. The throw over to first is in time, but Andrew Pinckney does his job. Going over to third is Brutcher.
Now batting the catcher from Oregon, number 12, Josiah.
So Jacobson picking it up quickly. Getting the throw over in time for the first out. Just the first out of the inning, and the Commodores have a chance to extend their lead even more with Brutcher being 90 feet away.
I love the move because Pinckney is a guy who's been struggling a little with the bat lately, and you want to get him involved. You want to make him feel like he's contributing, and he certainly did there.
It's now Josiah Cromwick who looks at ball one, a slider away. The infield in for Cotuit. Each and every infielder around the horn is hanging out on the edge of the grass.
Got to try to get this run in with the bottom of the order here up against a hard thrower in Jacobson.
1-0. Swing and a miss, strike one. Cromwick is one of the newest Commodores on the block. Came here earlier this week after Jack Payton left for Team USA. So the Louisville catcher out, the Oregon catcher in. 1-1 misses outside, now 2-1. Cromwick is 1 for 2 tonight with a single in the second. He's 1 for 7 coming into tonight. Do the math here, he's 2 for 9. 2-1 misses. It bounces off the catcher Loma Vida, and coming in to score easily is Brutcher. Well, they didn't even need to put the ball in play, but the Commodores now have a 5-0 lead. How about a 3 spot here in the bottom of the 6th?
And you love to see it for an offense that was struggling so mightily to begin this week. Take us a little pressure off of Cromwick there, a guy who only has so many at-bats, 9 on the summer. And this is about as bad a game as the Kets have played all year.
3-1 comes in, and it's at the knees for strike 2. Sun's starting to set here at Gov Fuller Field behind the trees on the third base side. Baseball on Independence Day weekend. What else could you ask for? Payoff pitch. Breaking ball skied up in the infield. Loma Vida under in foul territory. Makes the late adjustment and finds the second out for Cotuit.
And Brutcher scoring from third base goes back to the sacrifice bunt by Pinckney. I liked the call from the dugout by Coach Trundy to put that down, and Pinckney did a great job of putting it down. He put it in a very good spot. He didn't try to stab at it. Successful small ball here for Falmouth. And this is a spot the Kettleers have not found themselves in very many times this season. Down fairly big in a road park.
Death taxes and Jeff Trundy using small ball to his advantage. As Anthony McKenzie starts down 0-1 after the foul ball to the left side out of play.
And he's beating Cotuit manager Mike Roberts at his own game. A guy who has written books about the art of the stolen base.
He sure has.
Doors haven't run around tonight, but they've used that small ball to increase their lead.
He's also produced videos at Lowell Park about base stealing, too. He's all about runners on the base paths. Now 1-1 on Anthony, the Sam Houston State Bearcat, who also dealt with an injury himself during the season like Drew Brutcher, and most of the year he had to be a designated hitter. The 1-1. That's right down Broadway, strike 2. McKenzie got hit by a pitch in the second. And he went down swinging in the fourth. He's in left field tonight. He's been all over the field for the Commodores this season. Second base, third, a little bit of shortstop here and there, also in the outfield too. As the 1-2 hits him again. That's the second time McKenzie's been hit by a pitch. Give that man some ice.
And probably right as the first one stopped hurting too. You finally get that, some ice on it. You rub it a little bit and get it off, but then you get clipped again. Second hit by pitch of the game for McKenzie, but he'll take it. The Doors can keep adding on here because Jacobson doesn't have his good control today. Not by a long shot. This Cotuit pitching staff came into the day with a team ERA of 1.71. Hardest team to score runs off of, hardest team to get base hits off of. But you wouldn't know it if this was the first game you've watched this summer. Cats have not looked like themselves.
A Cotuit team that's 14-2-3. And Falmouth
Gets the Cats tomorrow as well. The first pitch to Mooney is swung on and hit into center field. Scott losing his hat like always, makes the snag and closes out the 6th, but not before Falmouth erupts. A 3-spot in the bottom half, giving the Doors a 5-0 lead. Top of the 7th after this.
Want a house of Falmouth Commodore? Be sure to sign up to become a host family today. Hosting a Cape League player can be very rewarding. Players connect and bond with the families, often forming lifelong relationships. Please remember that every Commodores player is bound and governed by NCAA rules and regulations. In order to maintain their collegiate athletic ability, host families receive a weekly allowance from the Falmouth Commodores to help cover player expenses. Host families are not required to provide transportation to players. The Falmouth Commodores are very grateful to the wonderful families that host our players each and every year. If you are interested in hosting a Falmouth Commodores player for the summer, contact our housing coordinator, Lisa Smuda, at lisatz143@comcast.net. For more information, visit our website at falmouthcommodores.com. Thank you for supporting our players, and roll Doors.
Cam Benassi on the mound. He's the third pitcher for the Commodores. Coming in for Philip Abner. We just want to remind you, as a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, the Mass State Lottery is celebrating the games we love playing. From the baseball diamond to the many lottery games that help support all 351 cities and towns across the Commonwealth. So, here's to 50 years of winning and 50 more. Benassi, coming out of Wake Forest from Tampa, Florida, has an ERA of 5.06, making his 4th appearance tonight for the Doors. Has 5 1/3 innings pitched, giving up 3 runs, striking out 7, and walking none. Carter, not too bad.
Benassi, I think, off to a better start this summer than his ERA would indicate. This now his 4th appearance. The 5.06 ERA doesn't tell the whole story. He's been bitten by the long ball a couple times this summer. First one he gave up was to Kevin Sim of Orleans, who's up towards the top of the league in home runs, so no shame in that. And then he was on the mound in Brewster, where that quote-unquote home run went over the wall off the bat of Alex Freeland, if you recall. Benassi this season, 5 1/3. 2 hits allowed only. So both those long balls, 3 earned runs, but 7 strikeouts. You like that in the first 5 1/3, so we know he has good stuff. Right-hander from Wake Forest with that fastball, sometimes cutting action on it, and a slider in the low 80s.
Let's find out if he can add more to that strikeout total here in the top of the 7th. Commodores leading the Kettleers by a score of 5-0 as Carter Trice, the man in the 7th spot tonight for Cotuit, steps up for the 3rd time tonight. First pitch at 82 miles an hour, cut on and miss, strike 1. Trice, the DH, spent last year at Old Dominion. He's from Norfolk, but now he's making the move down to the state of North Carolina, playing for NC State next season, as he nubs the 0-1 foul. 0-2 now.
And this is a difficult spot for the Kettleers because down by 5, they can't really do what they're best at, and that's steal bases, because there's a time to be aggressive and there's a time to hoard your base runners. And now down, needing base runners, you can't risk them getting thrown out at bases unless Mike Roberts over in the Cotuit dugout wants to be ultra aggressive.
0-2 is hit to the right side. Walsh won't be able to get it as it goes foul and out of play. And to your point about stolen bases, Trice is one of those guys. He stole 18 in 22 attempts with the Monarchs this season. Transferred to NC State a month ago today. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So I guess right on cue about adding more strikeouts for Cam Benassi, up to 8 on the season. There's 1 gone here in the top of the 7th.
Well, to steal bases and to score runs, Trey, I'm sure you knew this, but first you have to get on base.
I did know that.
And the Cats have not done a great job of that today. They've been doing a fair bit of swinging and missing and hitting the ball harmlessly in the air.
Ryan Ritter has not even put a ball in play today. He struck out twice, and he's down 0-1. Benassi working quickly. Now 0-2.
12 times today a Kettleer hitter has either hit the ball in the air for an out or struck out. So if you're not hitting the ball on the ground and giving yourself a chance to beat out infield bobbles or infield hits, you can't do a whole lot on the base paths.
0-2 coming in, too high, ball one. Ritter is a guy who has an exceptional glove. SEC All-Tournament team, SEC All-Defensive team, won a gold glove this year. One of, if not the best, on Cape Cod this season. Now 2-2 on Ritter.
Well, he's made himself a fan favorite out in Cotuit as well because he's been hitting really well. He's hit about as well here as he did at Kentucky in the spring. He was a .283 hitter with the Cats in 59 starts. He's hitting .288 here. At least he was entering this evening.
2-2 hit foul to the left side. Look out, Kettleers. Bouncing off the dugout, and we'll do the 2-2 again. Ritter definitely named to look out for in a couple of weeks.
Next couple years, this is a guy who could potentially be drafted.
Yes, MLB draft just right around the corner.
It's so rare to see a guy come in and hit nearly as well as he did in college, but Ritter is one of those guys.
2-2, too high. Count full.
Every hitter in this league probably just had a exceptional season out at their respective school, but they come here and it seems like everybody's average drops about 150 points.
It's the Cape effect, my friend. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike three. Man, that was a nasty breaking ball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Manasseh in just 2 outs of work.
Well, the chatter around the Falmouth dugout when discussing Manasseh is that he really hadn't been as good the first 2 outings as he could have been, and the reason for that was because he wasn't spotting that pitch very well. His slider, his primary breaking and strikeout pitch.
There's a bouncer to the left side. Halter to Walsh. Easy as 1-2-3 for Cam Manasseh. It's time to stretch here at Gov Buller Field. We'll find out if Falmouth can extend its lead even more. 5-0 your score after this.
Fans, sharpen your baseball skills with some of America's finest players from the best college programs in the country. Clinic attendees will have opportunities to work on hitting, base running, infield and outfield play, as well as pitching and catching. Attendees will also participate in Commodores Chat, where coaches and players discuss topics like sportsmanship, academics, teamwork, and other issues important to being an all-around player. Clinics are offered Tuesday, June 21st through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. 3 separate clinics will be offered for ages 5 to 14.
Ready? God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Ready for the bottom of the 7th inning here at Gov Fuller Field. The Commodores leading the Kettleers 5-0. Just a reminder, Doors fans, be sure to follow us on social media. If we have it, we're probably there. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. We've got it all. Be sure to follow us right here on the left side of your screen. As Colby Halter is about to lead things off in the bottom of the 7th. Not a bad night for Halter, Carter.
No, certainly not, but we haven't seen a lot of bad evenings out of him, have we? Halter's been a spark plug in this offense ever since he came over from Florida. Tonight, a 2-for-3 day with a solo home run. back in the third inning. That was really the last big blow off of starter Ty Johnson for Cotuit. He settled down after that, finished off 5 innings of 2-run ball. But right-hander Will Jacobson came in right after that and gave up some hard-hit balls in the 6th inning.
Halter is 2 for 3 tonight. Solo home run in the 3rd, single in the 5th. The only thing that's making him be 2 for 3, not 3 for 3, is that fly out to left field in the 1st. So Halter, the rising junior out of Florida, taking on Will Jacobson. Halter taking his time, and now he steps back into the left-handed batter's box. Falmouth trying to balloon its lead even more after putting up a 3 spot last time up. First pitch, too high, ball 1. Halter is a big reason why the Commodores got that 3 spot in the 6th. He didn't even come up to the plate. 1-0. That's strike 1, and the reason why was because he got caught stealing when Jacob Walsh came up in the bottom of the 5th. Next bottom half, Walsh steps up, hits a solo home run over the right field fence. Jacobson has his sign. Kicks and fires, and that got him. Gets Halter on the right leg. A lot of Commodores getting hit by pitches tonight. Halter, one of them, Stovall another, and McKenzie twice. I hope our trainers have all the ice in the world because, man, Falmouth needs it.
I hope they've got some icy hot. That's not something that happens a lot to the Commodores, but you're right, 4 of them tonight, but a product of some Cotuit pitchers who have pretty live stuff, but who struggled with their command. Johnson did labor a little bit with his spots when he started the game, and now Jacobson has been a little bit off with the command of his fastball.
Strike 1 to Jace Borpin. You mentioned icy hot. Hopefully Shaquille O'Neal is on Cape Cod for this July 4th weekend because he does all the icy hot commercials. I feel like you missed that one.
I've seen it, but Shaq is probably off doing commercial. That's what my thought was. I'm not sure he has any time for vacation.
He may be doing a commercial right now.
He plasters his face over just about everything you want to purchase. All-time spokesman.
All-time basketball player, too, as the 0-1 is cut on a miss for strike 2. Jace Borfin had an RBI single in the 1st, making it back-to-back games where Falmouth put up a run in the 1st inning. The other 2 times at the plate, he popped out. Halter leads off first. 0-2 misses high and away, ball 1.
It's funny how things work out when Halter did get caught stealing. Walsh was at the plate facing Ty Johnson. Came up back to the plate. All of a sudden, it's Will Jacobson, who he then promptly took deep. It's been that kind of evening for the Cats. They haven't had things go their way.
Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 75 miles an hour off the right hand of Jacobson. And there's one gone here in the bottom of the 7th. So here's home run hitting Jacob Walsh. He's up to 4 on the season. That's tied for 2nd in the CCBL. Walsh is 1 for 3 tonight. So he looks at ball 1 inside. I'll tell you what, ever since I said he was due on that was on Saturday against Wareham, he's really taken advantage.
Been pummeling some home runs, and the average is slowly creeping up there, up towards 200.
1-0. Fastball hit to the left side. Another base hit for Walsh. Halter moves up to 2nd, and Jacob has his 2nd hit tonight.
And what may be working for Walsh is that now he's coming to the plate not trying to hit home runs. He's just trying to put the ball in play. And what hitters can fall into as a trap is that they try to pull the ball every time they come up. But now Walsh is just letting his natural swing and power do the rest. That an opposite field single. So 3 singles his last 3 games as well. Can't always talk about the home runs.
Peyton Stovall looks at ball 1 down low and inside.
speaking of guys who hit yabos, Stovall did it yesterday.
Is that what yabos? I've never even heard someone call it that before.
That might be a regional thing.
Well, I mean, we're from the same region.
Bouncer to the right side, scooped up. There's one. They can't get the other. Nice play by the first baseman, Johnson. Snow coning in off the bounce. There's 2 gone here in the bottom of the 7th as the runners head to the corners. Stovall on first. Halter over at third.
Pretty good defensive play over there at first base by Tyler Johnson. That ground ball took a sharp hop on him at the last minute. He corralled it, and I think didn't take enough time as he should have with the throw because it was just a little bit high for Troy at second base.
Drew Brutcher coming up to the plate with runners at the corners. Jacobson comes set and deals. Too low, ball 1. Last time Brutcher came up to the plate was just in the previous bottom half. He got an RBI double. It was one of the cleanest hits that we've seen from Drew this season. Pickoff play over to first. Nothing doing over there with Stovall.
Well, Brutcher may be coming around to the plate as well. He entered this evening with a 151 batting average, but had a hit yesterday, has a double today, drove in a run. If it's a question of confidence, you have to figure that some of these doors are slowly replenishing that meter, at least mentally.
Mark Roberts calls time mid-count. We see him do this a lot where, you know, it's when his pitchers are down 1-0 or 2-0, he's going to call time to talk things over with his pitchers, and it's mainly just him and the battery.
Well, according to legend, Mike Roberts is a guy who just absolutely hates to lose and who gets pretty fired up over mistakes or sloppy play. Not necessarily that here from his right-hander Jacobson, but certainly just trying to get him to calm down and telling him, hey, you're 1 pitch away from getting out of this thing. So you don't have to fall behind in the count to this guy. Just trust your stuff.
You're talking about Roberts hating losing. He hasn't done much of it this season. Cotuit's record midway through the season, 14-2-3. One of those ties came against the Commodores.
And I bet he's the type of guy to really wring his hands and stay up at night thinking about those 2.
Lose some sleep over it. 1-0. Fastball cut on a miss, strike 1. So Halter over at third base. He got aboard via hit by pitch to start off the 7th. Peyton Stovall got on first because of a fielder's choice. Cotuit couldn't finish the double play. They got Walsh over at second, but that was about it. 1-1. Outside, Brutcher chases. 1-2.
You hear the expression sometimes that pitchers have good ride on their fastballs?
Yes.
What that means is that basically it looks like it's rising as it comes through the zone or has some late life on it, at least vertically
like
or horizontally.
Ride, R-I-D-E. Right?
Yeah, ride with a D. Jacobson certainly got it here. That fastball's got good movement.
1-2. Stovall goes, and Brutcher gets hit by a pitch. Death taxes and the Kettleers hitting the Commodores. Not purposely, but holy cow. How many times am I going to say this tonight?
Well, we said it 5 times tonight now with the hit by pitch on Brutcher, but that's actually, if they can get out of this inning, a break for the Kettleers because that pitch got away from Loma Vida, who had no chance. And Halter could have walked home from third base. Instead, he had to go back because no one can advance on a hit batter. And now Andrew Pinckney has to come through.
First pitch to Andrew at the knees, strike 1.
Now that might have been the pitch to hit. Pinckney usually a first ball fastball hitter, and that might have been the juiciest one he's gotten all summer. And now he's got to regroup against a nasty looking right-hander.
See if Pinckney can take one for a ride. He looks at strike 2. Breaking ball that time around from Jacobson.
Same spot, but the change of speed's just a little too much for Pinckney to pull the trigger.
Pinckney had a sacrifice bunt in the 6th. As Jacobson gets his sign. Bases loaded, 2 gone. 0-2. He got him on strikes. Down looking goes Pinckney, and Falmouth strands 3 runners in the bottom of the 7th.
We go to the top of the 8th. 5-0 still your score here in Falmouth.
Hey there, Commodore fans. Thanks for joining us and cheering on your Falmouth Commodores. Want to take a break from the action? Come make a visit to the merchandise booth. Check us out behind home plate. We have a bunch of new designs for you to purchase, from hats to shirts, jerseys, crew necks, wine glasses, and even baby bibs. You think of it, we probably have it. From youth sizes to even adult double XLs. We have everything you need for family and friends. Be sure to come say hello and get a piece of Falmouth merch. Make a trip before we close up shop in the 9th inning. See you soon, and roll doors.
Well, we march on into the 8th inning here at Gov Fuller Field between the Falmouth Commodores and the Cotuit Kettleers. The Doors up 5-0 in front of their home crowd. They have, to this point, put together an all-around complete game against the best team in the Cape Cod League so far this summer. The first-place Kettleers entering the evening with a 14-2-3 record, squaring up against the last-place Doors team, but at least through 7 innings, it's looked like the roles have been flipped around. Falmouth has looked really good defensively with a clean sheet, solid pitching, and timely hitting, including a couple long balls, home runs off the bats of Colby Halter and Jacob Walsh. So now the top of the Cotuit order coming back around. This is an important inning for the Cats to try to get something started in this game. They haven't gotten a lot on offense today, only 5 hits, no runs. And Cotuit has drawn only 1 walk. It was Tyler Johnson back in the 6th, and he didn't come around to score. So here's Victor Scott, the center fielder, to try to start things here in the 8th inning. First pitch from Cam Manassi is up high for ball 1. So Manassi on for his 2nd inning of work. Pitched a 1-2-3 7th with 2 punch-outs. 1-0, check swing, and a called strike on Scott, and it's 1-1. Well, this is a guy the Doors have been concentrated on keeping off base. Scott today 1 for 3, singled in the 3rd, but did not steal a base when he was on. 1-1, in for a strike on the outside corner.
Can I take a quick trip around the Cape real quick?
Go right ahead.
The Whitecaps are beating the Mariners 16-5. But everything else is normal.
Stay hot, Ems.
Yeah.
1-2. In there for strike 3 called. Scott slumped as that pitch crossed the plate. He knew it. And there's out number 1 here in the top of the 8th inning. 3rd K of the game for Manassi, who is on his stuff tonight.
He's awesome. 3 Ks already.
And a pinch hitter into the game. Eddie Park coming into the game for Kyle Karros, who ends his evening 0 for 3. Park, a left-handed hitting outfielder, getting his first plate appearance of the evening. Park out of Stanford, just finished his sophomore spring. Manassi's first offering bounces in the dirt, and it's 1-0.
Would say coming in for a Pac-12 colleague, but that's not the case anymore. UCLA going to the Big Ten?
At least in football.
At least in, is it just in football? Or is that?
I want to say I believe so, but I don't quite remember the 1-0. 1-1 now the count on Park, because all the jokes were about snowy football games, right?
Yeah, but I mean, that could be every athletic team, because football is per season, is the first, sport in the fall season.
1-1, dribbled on the ground by Park to second base. Stovall takes his time but completes the play. And there's the second out in the top of the 8th. A ground ball off the bat of Park, who's now 0 for 4 in his short Kettleers career to this point.
So I mentioned 16-5, Brewster over Harwich. Hyannis is leading YD 2-1. Bourne and Wareham are tied at 2 in the bottom of the 6th. We have our 5-0 score here, and Chatham is trailing Orleans 1-0.
Naturally, the Anglers haven't scored a run today. First pitch into Tyler Johnson is a strike, 0-1 the count.
Yeah, the Anglers struggling more than the Commodores this season. If Falmouth wins tonight and Wareham doesn't, it's out of the bottom of the totem pole.
0-1 skips to the brick backstop, and it's 1-1. Well, the Anglers entering today at 4-12-3. They have been awful this season, especially at the plate. The only team that has consistently been worse than the Doors, even during their bad streak at the plate. 1-1. Stays high for Manasseh, and it's 2-1.
And it's the last 10 ain't pretty either. 1-7-2. And then that last 10, they got no hit.
And no hit by Orleans, I believe it was. And
it
then
was.
1-1 tie yesterday. 2-1 pitch is lined into left center field. A base hit for Johnson. Pinckney over to pick it up, ranging to his right from center field. And Johnson on for the 3rd time today, but this is his first base hit of the evening. A 2-out single here in the top of the 8th inning.
Yeah, he got hit, he got walked, now he got a single. The only thing that he has to do now is, well, there are 2 things. He can get on first through the catcher's interference. He can get on with a strikeout that isn't completed. That's a lot to do, though. That'd be really impressive.
But Manasseh now staring down a very good hitter in the form of Brooks Baldwin, the cleanup man, 2 for 3 today. 2 singles to his credit. Switch hitter, batting lefty, and fouls this first pitch away the other way.
He's been awesome this season. We talked about it at the top of the broadcast, or near the top of the broadcast with Brooks Baldwin, but he's a guy that has proven himself this season. That's what Temps do. Those are the best stories. Temporary players hang around all year and are loved by the entire team.
0-1, swing and a miss up high at about shoulder level. So Manasseh had him fishing, and it's quickly 0-2 on Brooks, who entered this evening hitting .362 against right-handed pitching. So his left side is pretty good, but he's a .320 hitter from the right side. So no easy outs with this guy. Just finished up his redshirt junior year at UNC Wilmington, where he hit .347. Manasseh looking over Johnson at first, who's not a base stealer. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Tied him up with a slider down and in. And that polishes off the top of the 8th inning. 4th strikeout of the day for Manasseh as we head on to the bottom of the 8th inning. Cromwick, McKenzie, and Mooney, 8-9-1 for the Doors coming up. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Doors fans, sharpen your baseball skills with some of America's finest players from the best college programs in the country. Clinic attendees will have opportunities to work on hitting, base running, infield and outfield play, as well as pitching and catching. Attendees will also participate in Commodores Chat, where coaches and players discuss topics like sportsmanship, academics, teamwork, and other issues important to being an all-around player. Clinics are offered Tuesday, June 21st through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. 3 separate clinics will be offered for ages 5 to 14.
Well, we head on to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Gov Fuller Field, where the Doors lead the Cotuit Kettleers 5-0 in this first of a 2-game set. Falmouth with the upper hand today, at least so far, and they now square up with a new Cotuit pitcher into the game. It's right-hander Cameron Wagoner, but it's not the only defensive change for the Kets in this inning. We see Cody Schreier at shortstop now, completing a throw, and Eddie Park over in right field. So Park, who came in as a switch hitter, stays in and plays right. And Ryan Ritter now out of the game for Cotuit. He gives way to Schreier.
And also going over to third base from right field is Brooks Baldwin. He's a guy who played left, right, first, and third at UNC Wilmington. So picking up right where he left off with the Seahawks.
So plenty of utility on this Cotuit squad, but that's how their defense lines up now for the last 2 frames of this game. Josiah Cromwick, the first batter of the inning for Falmouth against right-hander Cameron Wagner, who's on his second Cape team of the summer. He was released on June 23rd by Wareham after 3 games. He pitched 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs with the Gatemen. Went to Eastern Michigan University this spring, but did not pitch in a game for the Eagles in his sophomore year. Cromwick at the plate, 1 for 3 today. Swings over the top of the first offering from Wagner, and it's 0-1, 94 on the fastball. The Wagner fastball curveball pitcher primarily, dealing with 8, 9, and 1 in the Falmouth order. Defense playing Cromwick straight up. 0-1 delivery is ripped to left field. Cole underneath it right away, and there's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Scorched off the bat of Cromwick, but no dice, and he has a 1 for 4 day now. Anthony McKenzie is pinch hit for in this at bat here by Luke Boyers, who steps in for his first plate appearance of the evening. So McKenzie's day is done, 0 for 1 with 2 hit by pitches. Boyers started last night and played center against Bourne. Taps at the first offering foul. 0-1 the count. Boyers finally broke out of an 0 for 15 slump to start his summer with a base hit in the 6th inning. Later came around to score during a 1 for 4 day. The switch hitter hitting left-handed against the righty Wagner. 0-1 pitch is lifted to left. Cole tracing back toward the wall, and he makes a running catch. And finally comes to a stop over by the Cotuit bullpen. Fine play out in left field by Zach Cole. And there's out number 2 here in the bottom of the 8th.
He knew exactly where that ball was going. So what did he do? Got an immediate jump on it, sprinted to the right side, and made a leaping grab. The concentration that he had there was pristine. You know, the sun's starting to set, lights starting to brighten up even more. It takes a lot. But Cole was up to the task out in left field.
Alex Mooney at the plate as the sun sets here at Gov Fuller Field here in the bottom of the 8th. Wagner's first delivery is a fastball that doesn't quite catch the inside corner, and it's 1-0. Mikey Tepper is warming in the Falmouth bullpen, the right-hander out of Mississippi State. He's the only man down there right now. 1-0 again, low to Mooney, and it's 2-0. Mooney today 0 for 3, walked his first time up back in the 1st inning and later came around to score on a Jace Borfin single. Has put the ball in the air the 3 times since. 2-0 pitch, this time comes in for a strike on the inner half, and it's 2-1. Colby Halter on deck. 2 for 3 today with a hit by pitch. He's been all over the base paths this evening. Wagner ready, and the 2-1 delivery. Breaking ball tied Mooney up, and he fouls it off the other way, 2-2. 5-0, Falmouth leads the Cotuit Kettleers. No runs on 6 hits for the Cats, 5 runs on 8 hits for the Doors, and neither team has made an error. 2-2 pitch. Inside and low to Mooney, and it's 3-2.
Second time he's worked a full count tonight. On the first at-bat of the bottom half of the 1st inning.
3-2 the count to Mooney. Bases empty, 2 down, bottom of the 8th. Wagner deals. Well inside, and Mooney knew right away. He lays off for ball 4, his second walk of the day. And Mooney stands at first base with Colby Halter back up to the plate for the 5th time today. So Halter with that trademark grungy dirt jersey with dirt all over the front of it. He's had to slide back into first with plenty of pickoff throws going his way today. And now trying to put an exclamation point on what might be a pretty impressive win for Falmouth if they can hang on. First pitch to him as Mooney goes. The throw by Loma Vida is off the mark a bit as Schreier had to reach back for the ball, and Mooney slid in safely.
That was awesome by Alex Mooney. The way he stayed on that second base bag. You know, he dove in with his hands, slid up on the base, kept his body on it, and then at the end held his left foot on the second base bag. That's just smart base running right there. That's the awareness that comes into it with base running. Mooney aced it right there.
And staying on the bag so important as well. The 1-0 pitch fouled off by Halter, and it's 1-1. And how many times have we seen it in major league games where guys steal a base successfully but slide over the bag or take their hand or foot off, and then by replay, they're out?
Way too many times. I mean, and it's now becoming more of an issue because of replay review. You know, it's more looked at.
And that was Mooney's 4th steal in 5 tries this summer. He doesn't run a ton, but he's been fairly efficient when he does. 1-1 the count on Halter. Wagoner's pitch. Swung through and missed, 1-2. So Halter with a pair of doubles to his credit this season. Hit his 2nd home run in this game back in the 3rd inning. Singled in the 5th, hit by a pitch in the 7th. Doesn't need a big blast here. A base hit will probably score Mooney, who has good speed. 1-2, Mooney goes for 3rd. Loma Vida doesn't make the throw. Another steal for Mooney off of the indecision of catcher Caleb Loma Vida for Cotuit. The 2nd in this inning alone for Mooney. Give him number 4 and number 5 on the summer. 2-2 the count on Halter. Runner at 3rd, 2 down. Wagoner's pitch. Swing and a miss, and that ends the bottom of the 8th inning. The Doors get a base runner, but they leave Mooney over at 3rd base as we head on to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Doors trying to finish off the Cats. It'll be Cole, Troy, and Trice, 5, 6, and 7, barring any pinch hitters, due up for Cotuit in the 9th. They don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss the ending of this one. We'll be back in just a moment.
My favorites. Proud to be an American. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
And what's your favorite breakfast food?
Oh, my favorite on the West Coast. I don't know if it's a thing back east, but Spam. Wheels or doors?
I think wheels, honestly, because you use wheels like more than I feel like you would use doors, because if you're moving things around, more than likely it's on a wheel.
Well, welcome back to Gov Fuller Field as we head on to the top of the 9th inning. Mikey Tepper, the right-hander on the mound to try to close things out for the Doors.
Do you see Homer fall?
Can't say I did.
He slipped on the monitor. Now he's just realizing he got caught in 4K. Oh, Homer. Come on, man.
Well, that's just about the only thing that's gone wrong for the Doors here tonight, who lead 5-0 over the Cotuit Kettleers, who have yet to be shut out this season in a loss. They had a 0-0 tie against Orleans earlier in the year in the 2nd game of a doubleheader, but have not put up a 0 on the board in defeat. The only 2 times the Kets have gone down this season, they lost to Harwich on June 24th and then to Yarmouth Dennis on June 25th. Mikey Tepper, the man on the mound for Falmouth, trying to make it a 3rd loss on the year for Cotuit and finish off what has been a pretty complete performance for the Doors all around.
Yeah, they've looked great tonight. 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd, 3 in the 6th. Now it comes down to Tepper closing things out. He's the newest Liberty Flame, actually. Tepper transferred from Mississippi State to Liberty just a couple of days ago, making it official on his Instagram. Got a chance to congratulate him today. Liberty University, a beautiful campus.
Is into the game now, Trey. Cade Kern. And you said it, Mikey Tepper Unusual to see a guy transfer away from an SEC program, but now he's doing that to go to the Flames. So Cade Kern coming in to hit for Zach Cole, the left fielder. His first at-bat of the day against Tepper here in the top of the ninth. First offering from the Falmouth right-hander is way high and in, and it's 1-0. To this Tepper's 7th appearance of the summer. He's been a high-volume guy out of the pen. 1-0 delivery is a called strike at the plate on a half swing by Kern. 1-1 the count. Tepper last appeared June 30th at this park in the 1-0 loss against Bourne. 1-1. Swung through and missed by Kern, and it's 1-2. But Tepper, the hard luck pitcher that day, gave up a solo home run to Matt Shaw of the Braves, and that ended up being the difference in a 1-0 game. 5.4 ERA entering the night, 10 strikeouts in 10 innings. 1-2 is up high, and it's 2-2. The Kettleers down to their last 3 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. 2-2, spoiled foul the other way by Kern, and the count stays at 2-2. So Kern this summer, a 162 hitter, 6 hits and 37 at-bats. Has a double, 3 RBIs, 6 walks, 9 strikeouts. Has some speed, 4 for 5 in stolen bases. Higher again with the fastball from Tepper, and the count goes full. So Falmouth, at least with a comfortable lead at the moment, not a one-swing game. Tepper trying not to walk the leadoff hitter here. Tepper nods, and the payoff pitch. Popped foul right side, back of the plate, and Kern stays alive. So Tepper, a fastball, curveball, changeup pitcher. Topped out at 95 miles an hour last summer with the Doors. Curveball in the low 80s. 3-2. Spoiled again, back of the plate by Kern. And it stays 3-2. So Tepper trying to close the door. He's the 4th Falmouth pitcher to be used today after Hartle, Abner, and Manassi. 3-2. Called strike 3. He got him with a fastball right down the middle. Kern is set down, a strikeout victim, and a big first out here in the top of the 9th inning.
Oh, that was massive. Beautiful spot, too, from Tepper. He brings the heat. Showed it right there.
Tommy Troy now at the plate with 1 out, and the base is empty here in the top of the 9th inning. Troy today, 2 for 3 at the plate. He swings the first offering and pops it up way high to the left side. Mooney going out, losing his hat over from short. He backs up and can't make the play. It plunks in behind him in foul ground, with Luke Boyers backing up the play from left. So Mooney certainly had a chance on that ball, but maybe caught a little bit of wind or simply overran it. In any event, the count 0-1 on Troy, who doubled in the second and had an infield single in the 4th. Grounded out his last time up to end the 6th. Righty bat against the righty Tepper. Breaking ball, just a touch high, and it's 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Check swing, another called strike by home plate umpire Joe Carrico. And Troy now saddled with a 2-strike count. 1 away, bases empty. And the 1-2. Fouled back. So the Doors trying to polish off what would be their first win over the Kettleers since July 24th of 2021. Doors won 9-4 that day. 1-2, half swing. They appeal to first base, and Ryan DeMar says Troy didn't go. It's 2-2. So far this year, Falmouth is 0-1-1 against the Kettleers. Cotuit came in here and shut out Falmouth 4-0 in the second game of the season, and then these two tied out at Lowell Park. 2-2, this time he did go. Tepper gets Troy on an ugly swing. Second straight strikeout of the inning, and the Kettleers are down to their final out.
Man, this feels good. Remember last night I was looking at social media and Kettleers said thank you next when they said they beat the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Well, we were next. You're welcome, I guess. We got to get this last out here though.
Base is empty, 2 down, and Josh Pearson, the pinch hitter, looks at strike one. So Pearson coming in to pinch hit for Carter Trice, who finishes up tonight with an 0 for 3 day. Pearson, a righty bat that is. Lefty indeed, and he sees a pitch come in on him. 1-1 the count.
Seen so many guys get hit by a pitch today. Their first assumption when it comes in like that is like, oh, we hit him. Just missed him by an inch.
Falmouth batters hit 5 times today. Cotuit with 1. 1-1. Doesn't catch the corner, and it's 2-1. Two and 1 the count on Pearson, seeing his first action at the plate tonight. Tepper ready, and the 2-1. Popped up, left side, Halter going over into foul ground from third base, giving chase, and it plunks in front of Boyers, who came in from left. And Josh Pearson on base with just about the ugliest single you will ever see.
They all lost it. Boyers, well, 2 of them lost it. Halter didn't know where it was. Mooney lost it in the lights. Boyers saw it last second and picked it up on the bounce. You know, it wasn't like 3 Stooges all running into each other. They just didn't know where the heck the ball was.
So Pearson, who entered the day with 3 hits and 18 at-bats, now has another. Cody Schreier now at the plate. His first plate appearance of the day after some defensive changes took place in the 8th inning. So Schreier came in to play short for Ryan Ritter and now bats in his spot. Tepper's first delivery. Pearson goes for second, and defensive indifference. Stovall did not cover, and they don't throw there. So Pearson with a stolen base. Or rather, the defensive indifference by Stovall, but any event, Pearson at second with 2 down and a 1-0 count on Schreier.
Attaboy. Defensive indifference. Good eye.
1-0, in for a strike, a breaking ball on the outer half, and it's 1-1. Well, you only see that so many times.
Can it only happen? I'm going to be honest. I love baseball. I still don't really, not the most fond with defensive indifference.
There's always those little scoring technicalities that you have to keep track of. Tepper's 1-1. In for a strike, a good fastball poured in, and it's 1-2. So again, the Cats down to their final strike with Pearson at second base and 2 down. Tepper trying to close this thing out underneath a beautiful pink and blue sky with the sun fully set here at Gov Fuller Field. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball nearly caught the corner, but Schreier stays alive. So Ryan Ritter, a strikeout victim all 3 times today. Schreier now hitting in his spot, trying to extend things for the Cats down to their final strike and out. A runner at second here at the top of the 9th. Tepper's 2-2, swing and a miss. He got him. And the ball game is over. And the Falmouth Commodores, in dominant fashion, blank the Cotuit Kettleers 5-0 here at the Gov for their first win over the rival Cats this summer. And how sweet it is for the Doors, who have won 2 straight games.
Let's make it 3 tomorrow. Why not? Falmouth trying to keep this thing going tomorrow. Give America a present tomorrow. Why not, Doors?
Well, the Doors aren't done with these Kettleers. They go to Lowell Park tomorrow in a 4th of July matchup before the off day. But Falmouth finishing off this 7 games in 7 days stretch with what looks like a flourish. After taking down the Bourne Braves yesterday, the Doors get it done here at home, taking down the Cats 5-0. Josh Hartle went 4 shutout innings, and that was more than good enough for 3 other pitchers, Philip Abner, Cam Manassi, and Mikey Tepper, who closed things out in the 9th against the Cotuit lineup. So we'll be back tomorrow at Lowell Park at 5 p.m. Eastern for that early start on the 4th of July matchup and a grudge match between these two teams trying to break the 1-1-1 season series in game number 4. But a special thank you tonight for all our crew, video director Sean Oldred, and all the other names you see on your screen right now who do fantastic work day in and day out. This has been Carter Bainbridge along with Trey Redfield and Brendan Capozzi signing off for tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow at Lowell Park.